So, second game I'm going to be balancing between Baldur's Gate is going to be a game called Raging Loop. It's a psychological horror game told in the style of a visual novel, and choices are going to matter. There's going to be branching paths, and this was recommended to me by one of my friends from Board Game Night, and one of my longtime friends since moving to this town. So he highly recommends it. So I'm definitely going to, definitely going to try this out. So let's see how this goes. Save data is independent for each language. I don't think I'm ever going to use Japanese, but good to know. Made by Kemco. Made through Unity. Don't bash Unity. Unity makes some good stuff. You just get shown a lot of bad. A lot of these guys have very serious faces. Holy shit. Except the one on the right. The one on the right looks a little checked out there. He's seen some shit. Alright, that was actually pretty nice. Alright. Let's go for options, system, text speed. Let's have it on the fast side. Pre-read only. Yep. Auto text, probably not going to use. Okay, character voices. Just gonna have everybody's voices, so if I don't have to talk, I won't. Wish I could hear them pre-start the game. Good lord. Decent cast of characters. Clerk. Just a clerk. You have all these named people, then clerk at the bottom. Then others. So, clerk is apparently more important. You have others, clerk, and then the actual cast. A little weird. Alright, read extra, which is grayed out. Album, which we have nothing. I would assume we have nothing, but let's go. Oh no, it's still going to be in Japanese. Alright, that's fine. Wow.
ようこそノベルアドベンチャーゲームレイジングループの世界へ
Alright, we're going to change this. Options. Gonna have it probably in the... Okay. I'm gonna have to read this anyways. No English voice actors. Okay, so... We're just gonna have this on low. Yeah, let's just have it on low. So we can barely hear the voice. You're gonna hear me reading all of this. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, Mitch, welcome to this visual novel, Raging Loop. I am nobody special, honestly. Simply consider me a part of the interface. You may refer to me as Rikako. You're most likely playing this game for the first time, and I'm here to explain a few things about it. This work is quite strange. You see, it's recommended that the uninitiated take the time to read everything here. Those uploading their gameplay should at least read the 4 videos of sharing section. If you read it until the end, you'll... Okay. You find a section CJ doesn't exist. We truly do live in a society. A harsh society. How sad. Now, where do we begin? Alright. Let's see here. How about special functions? Why not? Allow me to tell you about Raging Loop's special functions. Raging Loop's story branches out in ways so complicated it might be hard to follow. But there's no need to worry, for we have included a handy function called the scenario chart. Good to know. You can access it at any time by simply opening the menu giving you an overview of the scenario. And that's all. Using the chart allows you to move to any chapter you've already been to, anytime, anywhere. That's going to be very useful for someone like me. I don't like redoing an entire chapter just to go to one specific scene. Now, there's no need to save out every choice you come across. You can simply go back and choose again, so there's nothing to worry about. The scenario chart function will be explained again when you have to use it, so don't worry if you don't quite understand it. It's good. Next up, keys. All branching in the story happens immediately when you make a choice. None of them start taking effect further down the line. However, some of the choices can only be unlocked when you have specific bits of information called keys. So we're going to need prior knowledge for this. Many might say that search for these keys is one of the major goals in this game. Don't worry if you don't understand how to search for them. It'll be explained when you have one. Additionally, keep in mind that all routes unlocked by acquisition of a key will be open even if you haven't saved after the fact. This also means that you can't load back to a state when you didn't have the key. Doesn't make the scene inaccessible, so it's not much of a problem, but it's something to keep in mind. For those commendable individuals who would like to play without any keys again, please refer to the data reset option. Use it wisely. I'll probably never use that, unless I really want to revisit this game. Alright. Special functions. What about video/sharing? What do you have to say to that? Raging Loop is a visual novel, meaning that the story, events, and conclusions are very important. Because of this, it would be very troubling if someone uploaded everything to the internet. I'd be sad. Very sad. And yet there's probably a lot of people that have done it already. Then again, we do understand those who want to enjoy the work with many other people, and a lot of people like me like to watch people play Danganronpa for the first time, just to get that natural, experience, see their expressions as how the cases go, who lives, who dies, who murders who, things like that. So I find this very appealing. Because of this, we have set a guideline for how far we would like you to upload. This range covers the whole first main route and a little extra. Specifically, you can only upload till the choice at 4 infiltration queue entering the village. That's a lot, just so you know. I'm sure you have enough content for your uploads. I actually think it's a bit too much. Uploaders who read everything aloud might get a sore throat. Please don't overdo yourselves, alright? I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for looking out for me. Also, if you tend to upload, please use the reminder function. If you have it set on, when it reaches the time to stop making a video, a strange sheep hops into the screen and says, "End of the line." Interesting. We'd be grateful if you stop recording when you see him and try theorizing and arguing instead. This function is currently set to off. Actually, I'm gonna set it on just so I can have my own theories for when this comes on. So when we get to that point, we'll get there. Very well. I've set it to on. If you wish to change it, please go to 0 introduction and come here again. Alright. Good to go. Phew, that sure took a while. Thank you kindly for reading this far. Anyway, let's begin the story. Beyond the pockets of mist and hazes of blood at the end of the ever-repeating despair and grief, please come and witness the truth of the werewolf village with your own 2 eyes. Alright, May 11th, Sunday. I closed in on the side of the road and killed the engine. It was steeper than I thought. My bike was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed down and deployed the kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea. I just followed the road, so I figured I wouldn't get lost, but now I was in some deep shit. No, cool it. This isn't a big deal. I sighed, took note of the fact that I'd gotten lost in my pocket journal, and then pulled out a map. Suddenly, a rush of memories flooded into my mind. I can't do anything with that. Forget it. Somehow kept myself from remembering those things. After all, I'd gone on this trip to forget. Enough of that. Gotta focus on what's happening right now. Life is simple, just like this road. It's dark and there aren't any guides, but that means all you gotta think about is whether you look forward or back. Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I just moved forward. Still, I want to know where I was, at least, so I looked down at my map. It was all Greek to me. Last time I seen a sign, it was still light out, meaning that I'd gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersections I'd been passing through, and that had taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extended as far as the eye could see. If you flipped the scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization would tumble out. Besides the asphalt below, my sweet ride, and the lamppost above, the first one in a while, mind you, there was nothing man-made here. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was. Guess I'll just keep driving. I'd go as far as I could. Worst comes to worst, I could just camp at the side of the road. It's getting a little hot. 2 hours later, deeply regret ever thinking that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road has no side to camp on. A dump truck I'd pass barely even fit on it. I'd also had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I'd already seen 2 boars and 3 deer in those 2 hours alone. One of the deer had run parallel to my bike while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. I'd felt like it would smell my fear, and it did just to make it worse. How dare the thing do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it! I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I'd come back to civilization. Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up being either roadkill or animal food. And yet, I didn't back out. Why? Because I'm a pretty warped sort of guy and won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone awry and why I'd gone on this stupid trip. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. It wasn't like I'd find a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometime down the road. It's getting really late at this point. Where were these roads taking me anyway? It'd probably be disappointing. Soon enough, the road became flat. I was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abundant, though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, the street lights inside were enough to make me feel I was again nearing civilization. Was street lights a right expression for lights out of forest? I'd have to look that up. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling left my hands really sore too. Really had to rest. Suddenly I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. A convenience store. Probably need gas on top of that. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was next to an intersection between the road I was on and another, even thinner road that could probably support only a single car. The sea of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerist society. Consumerist society. Yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently even a damn store is a big deal for someone who had just stepped out of the wild. It was called Fresh Market. I've seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look all that old. At least the parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. It was a pretty weird place to build something like that, though. Was I close to a settlement? Or did they actually make profit off of lost travelers? I just asked that or something. The local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts, not to mention I was thirsty. I was welcomed by a weird chime sound. Looked like a normal convenience store. There were goods on the shelves, a counter on the left, and... Whoa! The worker at the counter was so mean-looking it was scary. She was so imposing, I wouldn't have done... Sorry. Wouldn't have doubted if someone told me she was in charge of some lady's army corps. Aye. Was that supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold it actually gave me chills. Was this store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to be stupidly overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit? By taking advantage of the loss and basically beating them out of their money? Shit, that was scary. Clearly, the Wonderland had only just begun. Woohoo! I was sure excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. Braced myself, but she just looked down at the magazine in her hands. Ah, so she was just a slacker. Slightly disappointed, I walked around the store. It was about what you'd expect. There was a small shelf with energy drinks, followed by some stationaries, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc. There were sweets that came with toys, a shelf of cup ramen, dried food, a fridge, a freezer. It all looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. Only supposed to think about this place was the section of full unpacked vegetables you expect to see at a greengrocer's. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this. I was slightly surprised by that, but there weren't any local fine foods or anything, so all in all, it was an unremarkable store. If you ignored the clerk, anyway. Took a drink and brought it to the register. Yep, she really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with a customer? You actually buying? Yes, I was actually buying. She was the clerk, and I'd be her god, the customer. 126 yen. She didn't even scan it. This exchange was at the mercy of the clerk. God is dead. Maybe I had to get mad at her. Can I ask you something? Huh? Kinda lost right now. Quickly turned meek. Where can I find the nearest town? There. Don't you have a map or something? We don't? Man, this woman. I'm not sure I believe that. Convenience stores often get asked for directions. You must have a map handy. That a rule? Well, we don't have one. Go back wherever you came from. I've been lost for a few hours now. I don't think I can keep it up for much longer. Sleep on the floor or something. Damn, she is cold. She had to be joking. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'd rather be on my way. Are you sure you can't help? Alright, just wait. The clerk put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time. Oh, man, she is not happy. She looks pissed. Found it. She did have a map. Of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the clerk started giving me an explanation. This here's the store. Go to the north of the crossroads. Uh-huh. You'll find an overpass soon enough. Cross it. When you come to a fork next to a giant boulder, turn right and head straight. I am going to forget these directions if I have to actually choose. Turn right, head straight. Okay. Oh, on this road? What of it? There's nothing there. There's a settlement. It's just not on the map. Do you know any other places? There's Fujiyoshi, but it's 2 hours through a mountain pass. This one's about 30 minutes away. Fujiyoshi seems to be a village. Didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge branching mess. It was clearly just a paved mountain pass. I'd have enough of those for one day. Probably just get lost again. I'll go to that one. Then, thank you. Money. Excuse me? You didn't pay for the tea. Here's 500 yen. Huh. Why'd you put the change in the collection box without asking me? Having too many coins is a pain, ain't it? Damn, she just took all that money. Put it in the collection jar. That was a hell of a line. Casually thanked her and grabbed the plastic bottle of tea. She didn't give me a bag, by the way, and left the store. It's fine. It's not alcohol. You're good. Drank the tea in the parking lot and looked up at the moon. Obscured by the clouds, but still bright enough to outshine the light of the convenience store. The clerk put me in a bad mood, though, so I didn't enjoy the sight. I threw the bottle in a nearby trash can and aggressively drove away. Following the directions, I crossed the overpass and arrived at the first fork of the road. The byway she told me about was really narrow. Probably wouldn't have noticed it if not for the tall boulder. Standing there like a roadside shrine for some traveler deity. Turning carefully, I got on the road. A minute later, I found myself in even worse wilderness than before. A veil of dead leaves covered by the ground, tall grass sided the path, and the sky above was black by overgrown shrubs, making it feel like I was passing a wooden tunnel. The road itself was a huge red flag. It was a wonder why I didn't just turn around. Sorry. Too much enthusiasm in that one. That line read. The exchange from before might have pissed me off more than I thought. Still, I really did expect the road to just end. Happened about 15 minutes in. The view ahead suddenly turned strangely dark, and a split second later, the bike tipped forward. Why is it flashing red? I reflexively hit the brakes, but it was too late. It started going down a cliff. My bike tilted downwards, and its suspension was put to the greatest test yet as we basically tumbled down to the bottom. The headlights suddenly shone on some dirt and grass. I knew then to be flung out of my seat. Stifling a scream, I tried to work some steering and brake management to slow down without collapsing, but it was too big of a task for a simple road bike. At the bottom of the cliff, it jumped higher than ever before. The suspension couldn't handle the impact, and I was launched into the air. A moment later, I heard a crash and felt an impact, after which came an unpleasant pain. Yeah, so you wrecked it. Damn it! An accident where I was flung out like that was a first for me. The launch was really something too. I did a 360 in the air and fell on my back. My breathing stopped for a moment, and the pain was so bad I thought all my bones shattered. My face and limbs seemed pretty fine, at least, though I wasn't sure if that counted as a silver lining. There was grass under my hands. I felt it even through the gloves. That and the smell of green made it pretty clear what I landed on. I pushed down and my hand sunk. This grass growth is pretty hefty. It's probably the reason why I came out relatively okay. Sure, my joints creaked when I stood up, but aside from that, I was fine. It was really dark, but I couldn't really confirm it, but I was pretty sure I wasn't even bleeding. My bike, however, wasn't nearly as lucky. Oh boy. It was lying on its side a short distance ahead. The engine was still on. The back wheel kept on turning, making an unpleasant frictive noise. Yep, it was busted. Walked up, killed the engine, and took the key. With the headlights off, I was surrounded by absolute darkness, so I just stood and waited until my eyes adjusted. I still couldn't see very clearly, but it looked like this actually wasn't a cliff. I was still on a road. It just wasn't paved beyond this point. Okay, so I didn't have a large fall. Just the dip between a paved road and unpaved. Obviously, a road bike stood no chance against an unpaved road. That woman actually tried to kill me. Zigzagging through the trees, I followed the narrow footpath deeper into the forest. I tried to get on my bike up and running again, but instantly gave up. It was particularly stuck in mud, so there was a risk of slipping and getting me into another accident. Maybe I had to turn around. The moment I considered that, I thought I saw a faint light ahead. If that woman wasn't lying, this road led to a settlement. Was I close? I reached into my jacket's pocket, took out my phone, and opened it up. As you'd expect, I was out of range. Ran the light app, showed a light to see it better. Though weak, it was better than nothing. At the very least, it helped me watch where I was going. I had no idea how long I'd been walking for. But sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. It was weaker than expected. A flashlight, perhaps. Of course, I could hear water. I could hear water, too. Might have been near a river. Hello? I raised my voice. Hello? Anyone there? Still declaring my presence, I walked forward. It was late at night. Were I to bump into someone here, the scare would probably take away a few years of our lives. That's why I figured it was best for us to both let each other know that we were here before that happened. However, there was no response. Could they not hear me over the rapids? Hello? I showed my light ahead and realized I'd made it to an opening. Sure enough, there was a river, or a stream rather. I could see slightly more than I had while surrounded by trees. Straining my eyes, I saw a rocky river beach and the shallows. The light I'd seen was on the other side. From what I could tell, it was either a lantern or a flashlight and was close to the ground. I didn't see any people, though. No one responded to my shouting, either. I wasn't excited about it. But I decided to step into the water. The cold water quickly soaked my shoes and socks. I could have taken them off, but I feared that crossing the river barefoot at midnight was a bad idea. But man, was it cold. Put my phone back in my jacket. I needed both my hands free in case I fell. No stopping or backing down, I walked toward the light. It suddenly became deeper. The water reached my knees now. That was too close for comfort. Feeling the bottom with my toes and balancing myself, I somehow avoided losing my footing. The flow was fiercer than I expected. If I slipped and fell, I'd probably be washed away. It suddenly hit me I was doing something really weird, but it was too late to back down. Putting my hands on the boulders and carefully checking, whatever. What I was stepping on, I gradually made it to the other side. Then with an unpleasant, wet sound in my every step, I walked up to the light. Could already see it clearly. Yep, it was a flashlight lying on the ground for some reason. There wasn't much space here. It was a narrow riverbank with a cliff right beside it. As you'd expect, I didn't see or sense anyone nearby. What the hell? Though old, the flashlight was working fine. The strength of the light told me the battery was pretty full. That meant that somebody was actually using this tonight, or rather until just a few moments ago. That was the most logical conclusion. It obviously wasn't left here yesterday afternoon or evening. And yet, the user was nowhere in sight. And I was near a river. Did something bad happen? Did the flashlight's owner step into the stream and get swept away? That was the most likely and worst possible scenario. However, the flashlight was left there practically buried in the pebbles. It didn't seem like someone placed it there to light things up. It was the dead of the night. There was no way you wouldn't notice dropping your flashlight when it was so dark. Right, the fact that a light source was left in a place like this was strange by itself. With that considered, what was going on here? What if someone heard my stupid shouting and decided to lure me in with a light so they could ambush me? Where were they attacked from? Above? Hello? I heard a voice the moment I looked up. The rock cliff was actually made of several boulders. There was a face peeking from behind one of them. Hello? Wow, a person! You surprised me. That was my line. Sorry, could you pick that up for me? The voice was feminine. I finally realized what was going on. So, you dropped this? Picked up the flashlight and pointed at the source of the voice. Ah, High-pitched voice, slender hand shielding the light. Sure enough, it was a young woman. It's so bright. Oh, sorry. This is me, by the way. That's creepy. Don't shine it up from below like that. I'm actually a bit lost. I think a bit is something of an understatement, then. Yeah, thought as much. Is this a settlement? That's a difficult question. Okay, are there people living here or no? It's not that difficult. Can you help me out at least? Help? I just need a place to hide from the rain and wild animals, that's all. Standing on a boulder, the young woman made a pensive face. Want to come to my place? And that was the conclusion she had arrived at. Her face told me she was 100% serious. Place. My place, by that. She surely meant a house, a settlement. Can I? I know I asked for help and all that, but I'm actually desperate enough to not hold myself back. Huh? As a man? Yes, I mean, no, as a living being. Spent the last few hours aimlessly driving around, only to fall off my bike. Dead tired of my wit's end here. Oh dear, then what kind of living being would I be if I just abandoned you? I don't know, maybe sensible. He is a random stranger. And so I was saved. Oh, the beauty of living beings looking out for each other. Anyway, your hand, please. Huh? Can't climb up on your own, yeah? True, honestly, I hadn't even realized that I'd have to. Meeting another person filled me with relief, which was followed by a sudden wave of fatigue. It wasn't crippling, though. She extended her left hand, so I grabbed it with my own left. Her slender fingers were stronger than expected. The girl's name was Chiemi Sarazawa. I asked if she was related to the Shinsengumi guy, but she said that her family just adopted the name at some point in the Meiji period. She was a 21-year-old who went to a college far away from here. This was her hometown, and she was spending her post-exams vacation here. We chatted about stuff like that once she'd let me out of the rocky ravine. There was actually a proper path, so the rock climb was pretty pointless, but I was too focused on my footing to comment. She told me about herself as soon as we reached solid ground. And what about you? I'm Haruaki Fusayashi, a graduate student in Tokyo College. Ah, so you're a bit older. I'm 24, so 3 years. I'd say we're the same age range. Yeah, so don't you dare be formal with me. Alright then, you can be casual with me too. Can I really? I like it when girls are friendly with me. Well, I know what you mean. I don't like stiff socializing either. Sure, I'll treat you like a friend. Wouldn't have it any other way. There we go. Too tired to read. That aside, are we there yet? Not quite. Like 5 minutes away. Hang on there, Chief. What a lively girl. You could tell she was used to people. Also, watch her step and focus on just the light. Any reason? There are loads of pebbles here. It's dangerous. The moment she said that, I stumbled on a rock too big to be called a pebble. And it's pretty dark tonight. I couldn't even see the moon anymore. Nodding in agreement, focused on following the light in her hand. I gotta change. Wait a second. So I did just that. Given this was a mountain summit, I expect some old wooden house, but she actually lived in an apartment block. It was too dark to get a good look at. All I could see were the cheap-looking walls like you'd expect for some old boarding house for students. Also, she lived on the second floor, in room 202. I had heard some raindrops as we were climbing the rusty stairs, but now it was really pouring. Between that, the darkness, and the large tree right next to the building, it was nearly impossible to see what was going on outside. It felt like I was all alone in a world of nothing but the walls, the door, and the fluorescent lamp above my head. Made me feel somewhat helpless. I distracted myself from that by imagining her changing. Why? Eventually, the door opened up. Sorry for the wait. Come on in. All smiles, she showed herself now wearing sports clothes. This was kind of exciting. Look at this place. It's completely empty, huh? Yep. But get a load of what's in the fridge. Magnificent. Let's drink. Hell yeah. Yeah, they're getting drunk. Yeah, her place really was empty. It's like a normal college student. It's just a small room with a low table in the middle of the fridge near the door and a large duffel bag deeper in. There were 2 old-looking bookshelves, but they were completely empty. I wasn't bothered one bit, though. Any girl's room was a wonderland to me. Good lord. Anyway, you want some help? You went through some big trouble, so I'll drink to you. And I'll drink to you for helping me out. You're a real saint. We opened our cans, knocked them together, and downed them. Hey, it's actually good. The pleasant bitterness and the refreshing carbonation made it for a good combo. Huh. So good. I live for this. Come on, you're too young to say that. Yeah, you're right. I'm not despairing from my future love life yet. You hear that? That's the sound of job hunting. It's a coming here fast. No! Don't say that. You'll ruin my beer. She laughed and took a huge sip. It was pretty clear she could hold her drink. That aside, something really bothered me. This might be a little late for this, but can I ask you something? Go ahead. Her cheeks were already red. Maybe she didn't handle her liquor as well as I thought. She had a well-featured face, and I didn't think it was wrong to consider her beautiful. Sure, her clothes weren't the least bit sexy, but I could tell she had some makeup on. To you, I'm just some stranger who says he's lost, right? Yep. And you yourself are a young woman who invited that stranger onto an enclosed space and started getting drunk. Oh? Don't you think this is dangerous? She kept gulping the drink even as she formulated a response. The very fact that I could just watch her do that made this a pretty risky situation, and yet, I wouldn't say so. But, time for a Chiemi Serizawa quiz. Yay. Here's a question. Alright, fine. My virginity is threatened, yet I don't feel like I'm in danger. Why? What a fun girl. This only made me like her more. Increasing the danger even further. Oh my god. Am I allowed to ask questions? Sure. Can I just assume that's not because I look like a good guy? Well, I don't think you look like a bad guy. But no, I doubt you're good either. You look experienced with women, for one. That unintentional compliment showed me that she actually did see me as a potential danger. There are 2 types of answers to this. Either you expect nothing bad to happen, but wouldn't be bothered if it did, or you actually want something to happen. Huh? I can think of several situations for the former. For example, you're actually on the edge, you don't care about what happens. Or maybe you're just confident you can defend yourself. Maybe, you know, martial arts, you can easily kick my ass. Whoa, so logical. Let me guess, you're a scientist. Well, I guess you'd say that. Now for the latter. If you intend for something to happen, then... I'm a thirsty perv or something? Wow, talk about not mincing words. I blame the booze. So, what else is there? Indeed, what other reason could a woman have to bring a stranger to her home? It would surely be something non-standard, like, you want to use me somehow. For example, setting me up as an alibi, I could be useful to you by attesting that you were here. Whoa, that's so shrewd. Or maybe you're a serial killer who brought me here just to get me drunk and kill me. Oh, please let that be the case. That'd be amazing. Whoa! So I'm some evil mountain witch now. Sounds great. I'll kill you real good. Splash, splash. What kind of sound effect was that? By the way, you forgot another case. I did? Yep. I could just be a really good person who simply wants to help. And he ain't buying it. Was it time for me to be ashamed of my filthy mind? Yes. Very. But wait, is that really important enough to risk being assaulted? Oh, you're thinking of assaulting me? I'm just talking in general. You know, the cliche scenario.
一般論
She stopped talking and turned red. It was cute. I thought she really was doing it on purpose. Man, was she drunk. We were just on our second cans. Then how about this? If I don't let you stay here, something even worse could happen. I'd feel real bad. Huh? Care to elaborate? There's some scary wild animals around here. Might have gotten torn up and eaten. That had left a bad taste in my mouth, so I figured I'd just let you stay instead. I see, so you're balancing risk and goodwill. Didn't expect that. Really now? You got any idea how much of a bad guy you seem now? Huh? I do? I mean, you assumed I was a thirsty perv, a serial killer, or needed an alibi before considering I was just a nice person. I mean, it is true. He just went on a whole list of what she could be, before just saying that she's a nice person.
ヘロエロは君
You're the one who brought up the perv thing. Details, details. So, what's the right answer? Huh? We're not just messing around?
単なるバカ話じゃないの
Get it right? I'm giving you a nice present. Get it wrong and you're dead. Seriously? Oh my god, there's an actual fifth option? Oh my god. So, let's see here. I have so many options for this. But, I'm going to say that she'd feel guilty if she let me die. I'm going to go the nice route this time around. Ding, ding, ding! You're right. Oh, cool. Well, I wasn't joking when I said this area is dangerous. There's deer, boars, wild hogs, and bears. Wild dogs. Wild hogs, boars are kind of the same thing. Wild dogs. I actually saw deer and boars myself, but bears? Yep, moon bears, though. They aren't big, but they do attack. It's pretty dangerous out there. That's just wild. But there's something even worse. Huh? What's worse than bears? Snakes, monkeys, crows, spiders. Huh? Were they venomous or something? I really doubted that. Those really didn't seem worse than bears. Also, wolves. There aren't any wolves in Japan. Yeah, there are. You're in the sticks, you know? She smiled and drank out of the third can. Speaking of wolves, whatever the reason you ended up coming to a pretty girl's home, won't you become a wolf yourself? No.
やめと
What a gentleman. Have another one. I wasn't too sure, but I felt like she dodged the subject. Perhaps I wasn't being cautious enough. But then again, I've been wandering aimlessly for a long time now. I had enough recklessness in me to enjoy sharing a drink with a cute, if shady girl. Sure, she's the shady one. 512. Alright. The last thing I remembered was our little, when was the last time you pissed yourself while sleeping talk? I had to tell her about the time I got so drunk I wet my pants in the middle of the boarding house. She laughed so hard she started frothing the mouth and passed out. Woke up with a splitting headache. I gotta love the good old hangovers. Oh man. Morning already? Light poured through the frosted window. I pulled out my phone and checked the time, 7 in the morning. I'd gone to sleep somewhere between 2 and 3, which probably wasn't quite enough sleep. At least I didn't wake up to some horror movie scene. The building wasn't in ruins and the girl wasn't actually a skeleton. Though in a way, this might have been worse. Ugh. She was spread out on the floor. She was spread out on the floor with the other side of the mini table. Her breathing was mixed with some weird gurgling sounds. I hesitantly looked at her. The saint that had saved me from the hell I was in last night had puked in the middle of her sleep. Yeah. What was I supposed to do here? As I guess I couldn't really be too harsh on her.
ちえみちゃん
Phew. She wasn't waking up. Well, I'd do what little I could. Just put her on her side and clean up the vomit. That's the best you can do. There, that should be good enough. I used tons of toilet paper to clean up her mess and flush it down the toilet. Left it stay on the floor, but it was dirty to begin with, so whatever. I even wet a towel to clean her face. Even then, she showed no signs of waking up. Some of it was on her hair and clothes, but I figured it was best if she took care of that herself.
ちえ
Yes.
みちゃん
Morning.
朝
First hint of consciousness so far today.
ちょっと出ておく
I'll be leaving for a bit. Without waiting for a response, I walked to the entrance. She'd have to take a shower and change and all that, so I killed time outside. I stepped into my still damp shoes with my bare feet. Socks were still in the washing machine with the towel she gave me to wipe my legs, and reached for the doorknob. I opened the door and was greeted by a gust of wind. The raindrops gathered on the leaves of the tree next to the building flew right in my face, making me grimace. The rain from last night was already over. The sky was pretty clear, but despite that, I noticed visibility of my surroundings was poor. The building was surrounded by leaves. The old structure was basically buried in a forest of trees about as tall as itself. There were branches poking in the exposed hallway, almost as it felt like they reached out and grabbed me if I wasn't careful. Kind of felt like I was in an overgrown room. I turned around and saw the room, and she had me as I left them. Yep, it was all real. I closed the door. There were other rooms of this building, which made me wonder if they were occupied. Hell, I wanted the same thing about the area in general. I pushed the branch aside to see if there were other buildings nearby. Suddenly, something entered my vision. It didn't feel right. Something that shouldn't have been there. The leaves I moved revealed a woman clad in curious clothing. The moment I recognized her as such, she opened her closed eyes. Did our eyes meet? Another strong wind. I shielded my face from the spray of raindrops. Then when I looked outside again, the woman was nowhere in sight. Was that an illusion? If not, then what? What kind of place was this? It could have been a real Hicksville, a marginal village, a bunch of actual ruins, or an illegal settlement. I heard some theories, but I set them aside for now. It seemed like a place worth exploring, regardless. Went down the stairs and found no sign of the woman or anyone else for that matter. Short distance away from the building, I turned around and sure enough, it was pretty much covered in trees. I went to the place where I saw the woman. There are footprints in the grass here. Maybe I'll find her if I follow them. They led me to an open area. It was unused, but it looked like someone was trying to do something with it. Was it supposed to be a construction site? Even if it was clearly abandoned. There were large rocks and lots of sediment near a prefab. From what I could tell, there had been a giant landslide which forced them to stop construction. The fact that plant growth was still minimal meant that it happened fairly recently. The footprints seemed to be going down the hill next to the site, and the music decided to go down a little. A little weird. Following them, I finally saw something that could be called civilization. There was a set of paddy fields with houses nearby. So this actually was a settlement. What a relief. Decided to keep following the footprints and approach the settlement. Came across another unpaved path that was clearly used by people and cars. It was lined with weeds and bushes leading up to my waist. It was home to caterpillars and grasshoppers, among other things. Spiders were no exception. No shortage of insects there, so it was a good place for a net. I wasn't particularly scared of spiders, but I didn't like them either. At least they were just harmless orb weavers. Regardless, I avoided these bushes just in case. I followed the path like the good city boy I was. There was a large boulder surrounded by grass. It was strangely tall, making it look like it was put there by people. On its dewy surface, there was a gray tree frog, ready to go after the many insects scattered about. Walked a bit further and came across a house with a small field nearby. The field's location made it safe to assume it belonged to the inhabitants. If there were inhabitants anyways, I couldn't see anyone. And just like always, there was grass everywhere. There was another boulder staying next to the house. This one was obviously placed there by a human hand. What was the point? Was it a monument or something? The footprints continue onto the field. Yep, definitely a paddy field. The wet mud of the field was full of small, young, but healthy-looking rice plants. If you ignored the standing boulders in the area, the place looked like a normal farming village. I was both relieved and worried at the same time. From what I saw, there weren't any other buildings besides the one in the settlement. Everything beyond was just mountains. Meaning that this place was completely isolated. And I was a complete outsider. There was no way things would go well if I ran into a random local. I belatedly crouched to hide myself a bit. It's probably best for me to go back. Chiemi might be looking for me. Suddenly, I heard a sound. I looked for its source and found a speaker on a wooden utility pole in the middle of the small plaza. A warning broadcast? I'd never heard this tune before. It was cheerful at first, but had some parts that seemed really dark. I found it unsettling. Perplexed, I stopped walking, and what happened next made me hide myself. There was a person in the area densely surrounded by houses. But they weren't normal. What was that appearance? Look, it just looks like, a little festival type thing. It's just a little, ceremonial, covering. Nothing crazy. What was that on her face? Although it was a fair distance away, I could see an old woman with some sort of cloth over her face. Some sort of cloth over her face. Shakily walked out from between the buildings. Oddly enough, there were boulders even there. But even weirder was the fact she walked up to one of them, lightly joined her hands, and bowed her head before it, her face still hidden. Then all was silence. Actually, it looked like she was revering it. To me, it looked like she was praying to it. It was bad. Really bad. I'd wander into a settlement with a unique culture, to put it lightly. Forget causing trouble. An outsider like me could get killed here. I just turned around and ran for it. Gotta love small towns, guys. I dashed up the hill, past the house, through the construction site, until I arrived back at the apartment building. Meanwhile, the heart's pounding. Chiemi looked like a relatively reasonable person. Maybe she could tell me what was up. It just hit me the way she described this place was somewhat weird. She basically said it wasn't normal. Or maybe you're a serial killer who brought me here just to get me drunk and kill me. Whoa, some evil mountain witch now, huh? Sounds great. I'll kill you real good. No way. What if she actually was the bait they used to lure outsiders here? That'd be messed up. Eventually, the broadcast stopped. Chiemi still hadn't come out of her room. She didn't respond even when I knocked or called out to her. Didn't have to worry about this, right? Maybe that made my inexplicable unease grow worse. What if this was a trap? Was I in a dangerous situation? I had to talk to her. She was a normal person anyways. Maybe my best option was to run away right now. Let's see here. I wouldn't know where to run. I couldn't remember the path we'd taken here. Though I was pretty sure we went uphill, so maybe I had to go down. If I avoided the settlement and went back to the mountain stream, I could escape by following the wild roads. That was my best option, even with the difficulties considered. Thankfully, I'd taken my bag with me. Pulled out a 5,000 yen note, put it in Chiemi's newspaper box. It was payment for last night's beer. 50 bucks for beer, hell yeah. The moment I turned around to take my leave, the door to the room next to the staircase opened slightly with a creak. I saw an eye glaring at me through the gap. Why did it turn bloodshot? You're only supposed to do that when something when a murder actually happens. Come on now. Everybody screams. Everybody scream. Her high-pitched voice screamed pierced my eardrums. I screamed too, scared shitless, and ran for it. Suddenly, I stepped onto the wet hallway floor at a bad angle. I fell. Talk about jumpy. Thud.
はるちゃんどうした
Haruchan, what's wrong? Whoa, who's this old guy? Who are you?
あなた
And are you alright? The reasonable sounding voice prompted me to shake off the pain and raise my head. There were two boys in formal-looking school uniforms. One slightly too big for the shorter guy.
大丈
Are you alright? He repeated the question. Yeah, I was just startled. You friends with, Chieni? Chieni? Oh, you mean Chiemi-chan.
夫大学の
Are you a friend of hers from college? She didn't tell us anyone was visiting. Oh, I just got into some trouble and she helped me out. Nothing shady about me. Though now I know that's hard to believe. It really is, old man. Man, how do I handle this? Anyway, my name is Haraki Fusayashi.
僕は
I'm Yasunaga Oryobi.
僕は
Orbe.
近持ち
Sorry. This is a Chikamochi Kamoshida. At least Kamoshida I can easily say because I too much experience with Kamoshida name. Just Mochi is fine. Good to know. If I call him that, maybe he'd stop calling me old man. I was only 24.
それで
And this is Haru-chan. What are you doing? We don't know him. Apparently, this Haru-chan was the person who looked at me through the gap of the door and screamed.
とりあえず大丈夫
He seems safe. Come out. A moment later, she slammed the door shut, and after a few more moments of hesitation, opened it again. Haru Makishima. Whoa. She looked like a student, too, except her fashion sense was exceptionally flashy. Yeah, it's definitely, she's definitely going to stand out.
あなた
Who are you?
と
Name's Haraki. I crashed my motorbike nearby, and Chiemi, helped me out. Wait, are you saying you spent the night in her room? Yeah, She cut my words short with an ear-piercing shriek. So that's why it was noisy. What were you thinking? You're not supposed to enter an unmarried girl's room. It's indecent. Yeah, I was hesitant too, but Chiemi-chan was kind enough to let me in. Why you acting like you've known her your whole life? Wait, she's not getting out. Don't tell me you... There's a 5,000 yen note on the door. Yeah, that's not going to make things any better. Just a scream. Don't tell me you... No, she gave me lots of booze. I'm paying her back for that. Chieni's body is worth way more than that. What are you... No. Oh my god. No. It is definitely not what it sounds like. How dissolute. The hell were these kids saying? Hey, can you help me out? You drank with a girl you just met, and she's not coming out. Crap, I had no allies here. What's going on? So the subject of the conversation joined in. Please help me, Chiemi. You are my only hope.
おーちえみちゃん
Oh, Chiemi. Can you tell them what happened last night? Something was off about her aura. What happened to the lively girl she'd been yesterday?
ちえね
Chiene, did you? Man, this is embarrassing. What?
いやちょっと
Wait, hold on.
ちょっと
Stop. I can't be a bride anymore. Oh no. Oh no. She was desperate. Oh no. She used me to fuck up the a ritual. Even though we didn't do anything. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna love this game. Man, what a mess. Though Chiemi's face was all pale, she was actually grinning. She obviously had a bad hangover, but that didn't stop her from messing around. Yeah, I hope she's just messing around, but let me... Okay, thank God. If after calming everyone down, Chiemi explained what actually happened. But it could actually be, she could actually use that in case of a ritual. That would be amazing. How we met in the middle of the night, How she let me stay out of goodwill. How we drank her so silly. How nothing happened between us. It would have been great. Man, it's been so long since I drank that much. Guess I wasn't prepared for it and puked it out. Sorry I had to see that, Haruaki.
ああいや
Hey, I don't mind it.
それはいいんだけど
That Haru-chan girl's still looking at me funny. Yeah? Absurd.
あ
Anyway, sorry, I was so tired yesterday I couldn't refuse her kindness. Well, this is Chieni we're talking about. She does whatever she wants.
事情も
He's got good intention, good reason for being here. So maybe the elders will understand. God, she's so pissed. Dude. Like, those eyebrows, man. She is absolutely pissed off.
ちなみに
Where did you find him anyway? Well,
下の方
next to the river further down. My words made everyone change their expressions. Well, she ain't pissed anymore. That's a big deal. 2 people over just 2 days.
もしかして
Did I say something
まずい
bad?
こと言った
It was gonna get out sooner or later. We made quite a scene, so I wouldn't be surprised if everyone Yasumizu already knows.
君
Hey, what did you mean by 2 people over just 2 days? Don't touch me! You're filthy! I wasn't trying to touch her. I wasn't filthy. Sure, I hadn't had a bath in over a day, but still.
君
Hey you, why is it a big deal? Teiba's gonna go eee. Well, that sure sounded bad.
詳しい話
Can you tell me more?
ちょっと
It's a bit complicated.
難しいんですけど
For now, just keep in mind that this is the countryside. Things are a little different here than the city. This guy here is Orbikun. Ignore Shiemi, and he was the easiest person to talk to.
どうすればいいか
What should I do? Just leave it to me, alright? And it's time for students to eat, isn't it? Huh? I want to see where this mess goes. Oh God. But I'm looking forward to see where this goes. Although I still think that, you know, I now still think she has ulterior motives for saving me. No, you don't. Just go already. We'll catch up.
まあ
Well, I guess it's best to go separately. There's probably going to be some disagreements. Yeah, I knew you'd understand, Yasukun. Take care of them for me, alright? Sure. Stop treating me like a child. Okay, that's a little weird. Yeah, I swear I'll poop on. What kind of a line is that?
ほらほら
Let's just get going, you two. Oh. And so, the students walked towards the stairs. It's kind of easy to tell what sort of relationship they had. Anyway,
彼らが
so they live in this building too, huh? Yep, it's a student dorm, you know? A student dorm in this Hicksville? Still, my senses have betrayed me. There actually were other people here. By the way, you didn't run into anyone else and get in trouble, right? Yeah, I was careful on that
一応
front.
それ
Good. Let's get ready to go to the dining hall. Oh, for breakfast? Nope, eat your breakfast now. We'll be going to the dining hall to introduce you. Huh?
誰と
To who? To whoever has a problem with an outsider coming from Saranaga. Oh, so like that Teiba person, huh? I'm in your hands then. It's fine. If you're that grateful, keep what happened this morning a secret.
そりゃもう
Sure thing. What's
ところで
Saranaga anyway? The river? Yep, the river's called Saranaga Rapids. But the area around it is called Saranaga. The place has some cultural significance.
岩
It does. Yep, they say it's a corrupt place where the dead return from the other side. Oh. So that's why they reacted like that.
他にも
Any other rules or customs I should be aware of? Yes, that would be good to know now. It would be good to know last night, but now is a perfect time before we fuck things up even more. Oh, there's lots. So just leave everything to me, alright? Gladly, on all fronts.
ちなみに
If I may ask, am I in danger? Nope, but you should try to escape before something unpleasant happens to you. Then yes, you are in danger!
そのため
And you're gonna lay the groundwork for that, huh? Yep. The settlement I'd strayed to was a weird place, but at least the guide was reliable. And she waited for me to wanted me to leave ASAP, huh? Huh? That was depressing. What? You don't belong here, and it's probably for a good reason. Alright. Shammy gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drinks in person, though. Then we made our way to the dining hall.
この岩って何なの
What are these boulders? They're like charms, I guess. They've been here forever.
昔からあるよ。
よそでは
I've never seen anything like them anywhere else. Oh yeah, I guess they are kind of unique to this area. She led me along a narrower path that I followed earlier. It didn't seem like any cars used this one. It was very farmy, I guess. This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. They were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days. Or were they? Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place. Oh, there's a person. He was working on the field. That's Takumi Nichan. Morning! Shammy waved a hand. The man responded, but then froze mid-wave. Probably because he sees a stranger. Let's go.
いいの
Are you sure we should? The guy looked pretty surprised to see me. Don't worry, he'll be at the dining hall soon. We'll explain things then. Well, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. This was part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were more densely packed. I didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kind of weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows, in particular, were more or less overgrown, buried in tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village, and someone told me it was abandoned, I'd easily believed them. I mean, someone really does need to mow the lawn. Holy shit. However, two of the buildings stood out. That looks like a temple. There was a hall right beyond the hill. It wasn't that big, but it looked like it looked grand and well maintained. Well, more maintained than everything around it. And the other building was obviously the dining hall. It looked a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside. From what I could tell, it was the most lively place in this poor excuse for a community. Who are you to judge on that? Suddenly, the three students walked out, chatting about something. Ah, Chiene and Fusayashi-san. Morning again. Aren't you late? We took forever because Mochi doesn't stop saying nonsense. Yes, I am evil. Give me miso soup. Oh, you'll make it if you hurry. Behave in class, you guys. Half dashing, the three ran up the path we came
み
from.
んな高校生なんだ
They're all in high school, huh? Yep, there's a branch school all the way up the mountain. I was going there myself 3 years ago.
やたら不便
Sounds like a hassle. It's not all bad. At least we get to live in that dorm. Shammy was entirely straight-faced. There was even a hint of a smile. Alright, let's get psyched.
そうしま
Yeah, I'm not convinced. We laughed a little and passed the curtain.
いらっしゃい。
Welcome. Oh. The inside was as aged as the outside, but looked well maintained.
ちえみちゃん。
Is he a visitor, Chiemi-chan? The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. No comment. It's a weird line, yeah. Okay, there were two others beside her. The old lady. One was a lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. The silhouette matched. The other was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. Though they were just sitting there was a menacing aura about him. I'll introduce him. This is Haruki Fusaishi. I found him at Saranaga last night and took him into my care. And their reactions were powerful. Shocked. Every last one of them shocked. Although the old man is, like, shocked and pissed off at the same time. Old lady looks like, you just told her the most devastating news in her life. And the middle lady is shocked and confused. At least those are the expressions I got by looking into their eyes. The lady gasped, while the two elders rose to their feet with alarm. The tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak. I know you're concerned, but this is just a coincidence. Unlike that little girl, he knows exactly where he came from. He went on an old path with his bike and crashed. It's actually really sad. That's why I think we should help him leave. What do you think? After saying all that, Chiemi fell silent. The ball was in their court now. Now, that is troubling. The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the old people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders in more ways than one. Yeah, I guess they're a small town where the elders have all the power. Chi-chan, why did you even go to Saranaga at night? I had a hunch, I guess. You know what happened? I couldn't fall asleep. Then he's gotta be a why was I going to say Yojimba? Then he's gotta be a Yomibito. Shut up, Tabe. But the conversation was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She mentioned some little girl. Perhaps it was a child who wandered in here like I did. According to Chiemi, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Oh, so this Tay must have been the E lady that the boy mentioned. And the Yomibito must have been a term for the dead who came from there. Apparently the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve helping me. Where are you from? An old man's voice put my derailed mind back on track. Oh, I'm from Tokyo. How old are you? 24. Older than Chi, eh? He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl. Nice to meet you. I'm Haruki Fusaishi. Like she said, I wandered into town after my bike crashed. I seem to be a total outsider here, so I didn't want to speak out of turn. That's why I asked her to talk on my behalf, but I think I should say something at least. I won't trouble you any longer than I have to, so I'd be grateful if you pardon my brief stay. And please don't blame her for helping me. Hey, Haruki-san. I think she went against this village's customs by helping me out. The students also seemed surprised. My. I'm an adult. I'm willing to take responsibility for any trouble I caused as best I can. So please, put up with me. I bowed my head. Seems alright to me, Taiba. I don't know about that. Look at his hair. All colored brown. Shit, I forgot he didn't look very presentable to more traditionalist people. Outsiders are all like that. Just help him out of here, I says. Do what you want. I guess I got their half-hearted approval? Haruaki, Haru, eh? Like my granddaughter. What a mess.
あ
Ah, so that means you're...
そう
Yep,
はるちゃんのおじいさん
he's Haru-chan's grandpa,
さんよ
Kanzo Makishima. A pleasure.
どうも
I didn't know what else to say. Haru-chan and I weren't on the best of terms so far. Anyway, it seems like we're past the difficult part. Drove into Saranaga, eh?
いえ
No, actually, I asked for directions at a convenience store, went down a side road, and ended up losing control on an unpaved section. And then you went in Saranaga. Why didn't you turn around? He wasn't impressed by my choice of actions. Just hit me that I had no idea how much time passed between the crash and my meeting with Chiemi. Takumi. I'll go see. I'll go see it.
匠は田を見よるわよ
Takumi's working in the field. It's to get him to leave. Let the boy help. You never change, Kachan. What's going on here? Hi. You are exceptionally tall compared to everybody else. We're joined in by a new inhabitant. Jimmy, who is that guy? Oh, Takumi, Nichan. Oh, so he was the one we saw in the field. Wow, he sure looked big from up close. All that field work was good for his muscles, clearly. And from what I could tell, he was in his 30s. Good lord, he's got like... Like from the... He's got like a head and a half taller than her. Jesus Christ, he's tall. As Chiemi introduced me and told him my situation, I found out his name, Takumi Muro. Man, that must have been hard. So, old man Kanzo. We'll pick it up. Thought so. Bye, Bachan. Wait a bit, and while I help out the guy. I already spread the stuff on the field, so I'll mow the grass at noon. What a good boy. Ain't a big deal. So I'll be quick. You think nothing happened. Good to hear. Nothing, eh? Boy. Huh? Me? What is it? You're in Yasumizu. It ain't a good place. Huh? It was the place that wasn't good? Not my presence here? We don't like outsiders here, and outsiders should let sleeping dogs lie. So you should hurry and leave. That's the plan. So it's settled? Yep, thanks, Takumi Nichan. I was beginning to understand how things worked around here. Although Kanzo's voice was most powerful here, it was also important to get Tai-san's approval. Kanzo was probably in charge of tackling the settlement's practical problems, while Tai provided spiritual and moral direction. And when it was time to be civilized, Takumi came and convinced Tai to act as an intermediary. It looked like Takumi himself understood such subtleties, and Chiemi seemed to rely on this side of him.
はい
Here you go.
一つどうぞ
The lady brought some tea to the old folk. Perfect timing. Oh, Kaori-san. Looking forward to getting some food. So that was her name. Sure, I'll make a lot. Well, it'll be a reward for waking up early and working hard. So her name is Kaori Oribe. Yeah, I'm doing it for Yasumizu, Bachan, and you. It's for nothing, really. Oh my. These two sure seem to get along. They look about the same age, too. Would you like something to eat, too? No thank you, I already ate. Then here's some tea. I could also get you a light snack if you like. What would you say to some onigiri? Oh, that would be... Sorry, can we borrow the phone? We need it quick. No? Sure, but why not have some tea first? Yeah, you know. Hospitality.
でも本当緊急だ
Thanks, but it's urgent. Let's go, Haruaki-san. Sure.
うん
Okay, no tea then. It didn't look like I could say no. Yeah, I apologize. Okay. We went up the nearby stairs to what seemed to be like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone. A rarity in this day and age.
これがここ
This is the only phone in all of Yasumitsu, by the way. Seriously?
ちなみに
Oh, and not a single mobile service provider works in this area. Yeah, we figured that out.
そうなのか
Really? Wait, who do you want me to call anyway? road service, insurance, stuff like that. Family if you have to. Well, that made sense. Hell, I should have been the one to say that. Like I said, it'd be best if you left as soon as possible, so you should use everything you have. Because outsiders aren't welcome here? Yep. And I shouldn't pry any further, huh? Haruaki-san. I see you catch on quickly. That's good. Let sleeping dogs lie. Yeah? Don't bother. But you also seem really curious. It shows, huh? Of course it does. Honestly, though, you should avoid sticking your nose into things. Because we'll part ways soon. Anyway. Exactly. It's kind of sad. Oh, you want my contact info? If you're willing to give. Yay. It makes you my guy number 53 on the list. Damn it, that ain't a letdown. We still wanted to exchange our info. I can only hope that being number 53 wasn't as big a problem as it sounded. Anyway, I'd still like to know the reason why me being here is such a big deal. I don't recommend it. But why? Because it'd make me upset. Okay? That's not as good of an elaboration as I would hope. You don't like it here? Yeah, I actually hate it. You seem to get along with the people, though. That's just how it looks. I was a huge problem child, so I feel kind of awkward around the older folk here. And there's tons of things you can't see right away. Oh, but I can't say I actually hate the people. With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to hate me. Can I ask one thing, though? Oh, gutsy. Go ahead. Do you like that Takumi Moro guy? Huh? Me? Like him? Yeah. No way. Takumi is cool and all, but he's too rugged and over a decade older than me. He's out of my strike zone. And he always only had eyes for Kaori. It sure felt like it. They're married or something? Nope. Kaori is a widow. Well, that seems complicated. That aside, Chiemi had been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? Seems so awkward, too. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Kaori and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she just didn't want me to drink the tea. Why? Would she actually poison the tea? Also, why did she feed me a cup of ramen if I could have just gotten food at the dining hall? Looking too deep into things was part of my nature, though. Things were never as bad as I had assumed. Here we go. I went on to become my insurance company where I found out something. Apparently this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station, meaning I was ineligible for the normal service and I had to pay extra. Typical insurance bullshit, if you ask me. And the extra was no small amount, too. It actually went over 100,000 yen. I'm sorry, $1,000 for that? No. I'd be pissed. Also, I could have avoided this if I had taken a more expensive plan. This is all my own fault for not taking the bike salesman's advice. Shit. I mean, that's just how it goes, man. I said I would consider it, and I hung up. And then I went back to the dining hall. Huh? Where did everyone go? Customers have changed completely. Tai-san, Kanzo-san, and Takumi-san were gone now. They're replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. My God. I don't even know where to begin with this guy. My god. The fuck are you? He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me. I'm Haraki Fusayashi. The hell? You wanna go? Goodness! Yoshitsugu! You don't talk like that to someone you just met! Shut up, hag! Chini, the hell's this asshole? Haraki-san is a traveler who crashed his bike. Boy, was that introduction half-assed! Let me introduce them to you. This is Kaori Oribe and her second son, Yoshitsugu-kun. Yasunaga-kun's the first. Huh? Yasunaga-kun, the guy you introduced me to this morning? Yep, they may not look at it first, but they're alike, don't you think? The Orbes. What an unpredictable family. Stop talking about bro, you ugly bitch. Call me that all you want. I'm confident in my popularity. She's done with his shit for far too long. It doesn't even faze her. I love it. Aside from what I'd seen, that confidence was well justified. Fuck off back to the city, you idiot. Stupid dumbass. Oh no, Haraki-san. I don't think I could argue with that. What? You're an idiot? Alright then, stupid. You're stupid. Oh, how mean. Join me. Join me, Yoshitsugu. I'm just gonna call him Yoshi, just because. It's just easier for me. Join me, Yoshi. Stupid, stupid. Huh? What the hell? Don't talk shit about Chiene. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you? Sorry, Chiemi-chan. I was just playing. Wow. One nice reversal after another. Takes quite a man to surprise me. I just don't want to lose to you, that's all. You dating or something? Boy, I wish I did. Boy, did I wish. Stop it, Yoshi. You're already late. Change and go to school. Shut up, I ain't going. Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind. Sorry about that, how embarrassing. He's a really good boy deep down, though. Yeah, I can actually see that, somewhat. By the way, where are Makishima-san and Mura-san? They went to pick up your bike. Oh no, I gotta hurry after them. Hey, they know where it is. They'll be fine, don't you think? Well, you just have to set on neutral and push, but I'm not sure they'll know how to do it. And I, of all people, should help. They might go about it the wrong way. If that's all, then you shouldn't bother. Why? Because you're an outsider. I wouldn't suggest spending too much time alone with them. They didn't seem that bad to me. That's because they're adults. Don't assume everyone here is as welcoming as me. I'm an exception. You might get along fine, but you might also set them off. This place is already far from normal. Don't risk making it worse. She's right, I say. They insisted you leave it to them, so that's what you should do. You think so too? Yes. The men here are pretty serious about Yasumizu having its own way of doing things. I can somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place, for sure. Where do we wait, then? At my place. Expected as much, but still made me curious. Normally, you'd expect we sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? She just doesn't want us to be a bother. Okay? As we waited, Chiemi casually but uncomfortably told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I had assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning, a little girl was found straying around Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the more superstitious inhabitants saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Chiemi didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. Okay. The plot thickens. And apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Of course. Unlike the little girl and I, they come here via the normal route, through Kamufujiyoshi, and therefore were considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders put people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Okay, that really does not help me. Yasumizu was a settlement, a part of an autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It had also been on the map I'd seen shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kamufujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. So you definitely should have taken the mountain road. Do that. Going to Kamufujiyoshi took about an hour by foot, or 20 minutes by car, on the winding path, but paved road. Side note, the school the students went to is in Kamufujiyoshi. Jesus Christ. Don't tell me they walked it. These 2 settlements has ties so strong they share customs and culture. Chiemi said local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had a special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. Oh yeah. It was nearly noon when Takumi came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Chiemi's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here. Yeah, sure. Man, bikes sure are heavy, eh? Ain't as heavy as the boar I caught last year. Really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were 2 of them, but just how much mass do you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride really damn muddy. How did you bring it up the cliff? There's a pulley. We bring this stuff up from the bottom every now and then. Takumi. Oh yeah, now's not the time for that. Hey, you think this thing's alright? It looks pretty damn wet. Not sure. I'll check. I'll leave the rest to you then. Old man, this took longer than I thought it would. It's fine if I do the sharpening tomorrow. I saw them off with a loud thank you. Now then. Need help? I'll see what I can do by myself first. The worst part of the repairs was right at the beginning. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Tai was that her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mud on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best to convince her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I would start checking for what was wrong with it. Actually looked pretty good. Bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. Well, the problem was that both tires were flat. That's not really too much of a problem. And it was a pretty big one. You didn't bring tools? No. Aren't you supposed to wherever you go on a bike trip? I just thought I could call road service so they do all the work. So unprepared. So young. Even as an adult. I have no excuse. Honestly, I was having a moment when I went out. Didn't think things through. Oh, can I ask what happened?
彼女に
My girlfriend left me.
なんか嘘っぽいな。
That seems like a lie. It wasn't.
それは
In any case, somewhere to get tools to fix a flat tire. Might be some of the Nosato Mansion.
野里屋敷
Nosato Mansion. Yep, biggest place in Yasumizu. If you can't find something there, you won't find it anywhere else in the village.
なるほど
I see. Let's give it a shot. I don't really recommend meeting the guy, but I can't think of any other ideas.
また偉い
Someone important again? Yep, and he's kinda messed up to boot. Oh boy. Ooh. Fancy, fancy. Even got a gate and everything. And so we walked up to the hill and arrived at the so-called Nosato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And like Chiemi said, it was definitely a hell of a building. It had an elegant Western design, which probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The yard was overgrown. The building itself was pretty much buried in ivy and small trees. If someone told me it was cursed, I instantly believe them. Do people actually live here?
インターホン生きてるかな。
I wonder if the intercom works. She pressed the button next to the aged iron gate. Yasumizu was a quiet place, so I could easily hear the bell ring inside.
もう一度押そうか
Should we try again?
やめとこ。
Let's not. We'll piss him off.
そんなに
Moody
気
guy,
難
huh?
しい
そうね。
Moody? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I wasn't sure what she meant, but I opted to just wait rather than ask more questions. Soon enough, the person in question walked out of the mansion.
なんだ誰だ
He looks familiar. Can't quite put my finger on it. Oh, anyways. What is it? Who are you? He wasn't young, but he didn't look middle-aged either. He certainly looked high-strung, that much was sure.
どうも。
Hello, Nosato. It's Serizawa. I know you, Chiemi. I was asking the young man with you. Haruaki-san. This is Kiyonosuke Nosato.
保護者の久石春明さんです。
Kiyonosuke-san. This is Haruaki Fusayashi. He got into an accident. That introduction was the briefest one yet. Huh? What?
なんだって
I explained the situation again. He furrowed his brow when I mentioned the Saranaga, in addition to the reason we were here.
というわけで
So I need repair tools so I can get out of here as soon as possible.
タイヤは
Are the tires tubeless? Huh? I have patches, but I think fixing tubeless tires would be a bit too much for an amateur.
難しいんじゃない
Though there's no problem if you are.
見るならいいがなあ
Oh, but the tube's burst. You have no choice but to change it. I don't have any spares here.
無駄に持っておらんよ
Obviously, I wouldn't give them if I did.
がね
あの
I'm sorry, but I'm not too knowledgeable about that.
ちょっと
What a waste of time. I recommend spending however many thousands you need to have a repairman come and pick you up.
おすすめしよう
And no retort to that. Oh, but Nosato, I don't think we can have any more outsiders come here right now. Huh? Haven't you been to a proper city? Don't tell me you still believe that nonsense. I'd be fine with it, but I doubt the elders would be. We had too many visitors these past few days. I don't care what you Yasumitsu peasants think. What do you expect me to do anyways? Fix tires myself and get oil all over me? Oh, I'd never suggest that. I think that if Fushiyoshi Village head should help a troubled visitor. How about instead of relying on me only when it's convenient, you just give him a traditional Yasumizu welcome. You know, throw him off the cliff. Whoa, what the hell? Come on, you can't say that. Chiemi's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words. I know it might be a bother, but can you at least lend me the tools? What?
道具屋
I'll just borrow them. You won't hear or see me work. I can even pay. Well, I don't mind that much, but I'll want compensation for anything you break. Student or not, you have to act proper.
学生だか知らんが
I'll have to act proper. Then he pointed me to the garage and walked back to the mansion.
いや
Man, I thought we were screwed there. What the hell's a burst tube?
春明さん。
Wow, that's so lame. What, you think every biker can fix a bike just by bashing it with a wrench or something? I don't know, but aren't there a lot of girls who are into good guys with cars and stuff? Oh, guys good with cars and stuff?
じゃあ
Oh, so you're into Nosato? Nope. He's just acting like he's smart. He's probably never repaired a thing in his life. The guy's not nearly as experienced as he'd have you think. Huh? Then why do you have a bike repair stuff? The Nosato mansion is basically the Yasumitsu branch of the Nosato family. Their main mansion is in Kamifujiyoshi. Whatever they don't need there, they send over here. I hear Kiyonosuke-san was given a car 5 or 6 years ago, but he couldn't drive it at all, so it's been gathering dust ever since. Damn, that was the countryside for you. Couldn't hide your shame if your life depended on it. Anyway, I now knew that the man was the condescending, pretentious type. Yeah, we all hate those guys. He still helped me out, though. And it was true, I didn't know much about bike repair, so I couldn't really get mad.
さそうと決まれば使えそうなものは全部持ち出してやろうぜ
Anyway, let's just take everything that looks like it could be useful. Like bandits, huh? I'm in. Sure I'm not bothering you?
いや
I'd feel down without anyone to talk to. Just keep chatting with me, it helps.
打ってくれるだけでも助かる
The instructions that came with the repair tool kit, he told me my bike tires were rather difficult type to repair. Apparently I had to remove the tires. Where did I even start with that? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing. As long as I didn't break it, nothing I did could be worse than having to call road service down here, so I kept trying to take it apart. But as I removed whatever nuts I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur. Seem to be having a rough time. You can eat this too, Chiabi-chan. Well, thank you. Well, this looks serious. Man, machines are just no good. Hey, the benefits of culture are great as long as they don't break. I think you can fix it before sundown? That might be hard. Don't worry though. Worst comes to worst, I'll do something. I really appreciate how she handles visitors in my stead.
なあ知恵ね
Hey, Chiene. Is it hard to get a bike's license? Yeah, I don't know. I know that scooter licenses are easy. I have one myself.
中型大型
Mid-sized bike licenses are pretty hard to get.
普通免許
You even need to take a course, just like with cars. You like bikes? The hell? What's it matter to you? How much was that anyway?
これは新車で
800,000 yen. Brand new. Holy shit. What the hell? It's way too high. You an idiot or what? How'd you get that much?
と
And part-time jobs and all that. And you got into an accident. Poor Haruaki.
千恵美先生
Shimi-sensei,
さっきから
if I may ask, what happened to my share of the food?
差し入れ僕の
Ah! Oh no, I ate it all. Poor Haruaki. I didn't want sympathy for the one responsible. Damn it, she ate all our snack. So I told her off for not leaving me any food. I somehow removed the tires. Can only hope I'd be able to fix this up. I had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made me feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again, make it go as fast as it could. Suddenly I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Huh? Hold on. An engine? Here? I stopped working and turned around to see an unfamiliar van drive into the plaza. Barring the classic-looking piece of junk in Nosato's garage, this was the first time I see a car here. As far as I knew, no one living here actually owned a running car, so... Those are the journalists I told you about. I knew it. Once the van stopped, the lady stepped out of it. Hello! Oh, she's pretty. Hello. I'll be bothering you again today, huh? You're a new face. Hello.
どうも
My name's Haruaki, Bike Crash. Don't be so hard on yourself. Huh? Crap. That was no time for an inside joke. quickly introduce myself properly.
ちょっと
Crash not too far away, so I'm stuck here for the time being. I see, so you're a student. Sorry about the trouble you're going through. Oh, and this is me.
ちなみに
Woman gave me your business card. Hisako Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was Kyuko Hase.
ちなみに読んだこと
Have you ever read Kyuko Hase's articles?
と
Oh, I'm sorry.
第
Figured. Not a big name just yet. And the magazines they do get printed and are marketed for housewives and the elderly.
それは
It's a pretty intense competition. What do you write anyway?
何
フードレビュー
Food reviews. I specialize in unusual dishes.
あれですか
Like the foulest smelling canned food in the world or something?
そうそう
Yep. Well, your usual brand of weirdness doesn't attract much attention these days, so I'm looking for minor culinary oddities local to Japan. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. I don't blame her one bit. Look at me, I sometimes eat MREs.
そういうわけで調理
Anyway, if you know any weird dishes from your hometown, do tell me. I'd travel the length of Japan to give it a try.
と
A student from the lab I frequented once made pork miso soup with a mushroom we found on campus.
集団
We had mass hallucinations and... Oh my god.
思いつきと毒
No flashes of brilliance or poisons, please. As we chatted, I became curious.
そういう
By the way, weren't there two of you? Yes, I'm here with a partner. He just needs some time to... Oh, there he is. I looked at the van and became completely awestruck. It felt like the van had shed its skin or something. Made no sense, but seriously, how does this fit in there? Darth, how are you doing? Oh my god, the bot's actually working this time. How are you doing, Darth? How was your stream? Playing, you're playing Horizon Zero Dawn over there. Right now, Darth, we're just starting the visual novel. I say just starting, even though I'm like 2 hours in. So far, we're in a village, a very small village. We crashed our bike, and apparently we entered from the bad side of town, so everybody's wary about us. And we're just trying to fix our bike and get the hell out of here because it is clear we're not welcome here. But nothing messed up has happened just yet. Yet. Apparently this game is supposed to get really fucked up. Eventually. Just don't know where yet. Yeah, I mean, I'm the outsider, so... You know how small towns can be. You know. You just let sleeping dogs lie. Holy crap, that is a big man. And this is another outsider. I'm just being two journalists who are kind of annoying the town right now. He was gargantuan! Takumi-san was something, but this man was on the level of a foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though, unlike Takumi-san, this man was primarily fat rather than muscle. Damn, how can you be so mean? As he walked out of the driver's seat, the van shook wildly.
写真家の橋本雄大
This is the other,
こちらは
this is the other reporter,
ずっと有名
Hisako. I know, right? And we're a 23-year-old college student. Who are we to judge? Yudai Hashimoto-san, a photographer. He's way more famous than me.
オールラウンドでご活躍中で写真はきっと
He works in all sorts of fields. I imagine you've seen some of his photos without even knowing it. Look at him just staring down at me. Like, I don't know if his eyes are sad or... I don't know. It's just a weird look. Here's me judging. I didn't know much about photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority or gravity around him. Strong silent type. You know what? I can respect that. Makes my life easier. He wasn't saying a word, and I couldn't tell what he was thinking.
どうもはじめまして
Nice to meet you. I'm Haruaki Fusayashi. Yep, that's me. That's us. the pro tag. Was he even alive? Hello. All right, we got a word. Yes, we got a word in. All right. After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like the moving mountain he was, and greeted me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with. I mean, as a photographer, you know, being quiet and, you know, just... and basically being still getting ready for the perfect shot, you know? It's a trait. It can definitely be a useful trait. The girl on our left is Chiemi. She's the one who led us to the village after finding us trying to find our way around the darkness. She let us sleep in her house. And she's basically making sure that we don't cause too much trouble in this village. This is your last day here, isn't it? Yes. Oribe-san said she let me try her prize. Shishinari. Oh yes, I really do like this art style so far. I can't wait to see how this gets really dark. I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of like a slow burn right now. Nothing crazy has actually happened. I don't know if an outsider can handle it. I have my stomach medicine. I'm sure I'll be fine. Yeah, she's a journalist who's testing weird cuisine from small towns. And so, Mamiyashi and Hashimoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Who'd have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit, that gap was kind of charming. As intrigued as I was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my bike already. And, okay, I've never met this guy before. Look, oh my god. Just look at him. He has seen some shit. I don't know what he's seen, but I'm afraid to see what he has seen. Dude, that is the face of somebody who's seen something he never should have. And it haunts him to this day. Holy crap! Whoa! A lot of things have surprised me here in Yasumizu, but nothing as much as this. Hello? No reaction. Yeah. At first glance, he looked like a poor man, too senile to think and perceive properly. You need something from me? I made sure to speak as clearly as possible. It didn't look like he understood. Also, this village, since it's an old-timey village, it's run by the elders. So, of course, you know, old people rule the world here. Good times. I figured it was best to just ignore him and resume the repairs, but... coming. Leaving! Look at him again. Alright. Gotta step away for dinner? Alright, yep, you have a good meal there, Darth. Let's see if we could end near, you know, something messed up starting. Or maybe it'll be a slower burn. Because this game has a flow chart, which means I'll be going back in time, taking new choices to see where it takes me. God only knows where we go. He was still just standing there, like his soul and brain had left his body. A vacant stare, yellowed eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. Coming. He spoke again. What's coming? What? His voice was too hoarse to make out. Come again? I placed my hand against my ear. Okay, we did not need a zoom-in picture of him, please. Please, God, no, we don't need this. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought it to my ear, closer, and... The wolf is coming! Oh my god, his eyes are all over the place, too. Holy shit. The sudden shout caught me completely off guard, made me fall to the ground. He looked down at me laughing. He's just a troll. He clapped and opened his half-toothless mouth to a wide smile. The wolf is coming! The wolf is coming! He bent his body in a weird way, laughed like he was convulsing, turned around, and just left. Well, that just happened. Haruaki-san. Oh, I'm too late. Jimmy had joined the journalists and only just came back. Late for what? Gramps over there loves messing around with strangers like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was creepy. Wait, that's your grandpa? No. I don't even know his name. He's been in Yasumizu forever and he's always like that. Felt less like he was just messing around and more like he's a bit touched. Yep, everyone calls him the old man who cried wolf. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume. Doesn't work as well, though. Wolves, eh? As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they've been considered extinct here. Modern Japan's images of wolves came from Western fairy tales and the like. It wasn't linked to anything in our culture or life. Even the boy who cried wolf was a Western tale. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. Yeah, that just happened. Well, back to the bike, I guess. After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tires and removed the tubes. Both tires were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck, this is kind of stuff only happened at the worst of times. Then I applied the patches. I filled them with air using a manual pump. Wet the tubes. There were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Chiemi was looking a bit bored now. Think I got it. Seriously? It all seemed so hopeless. Well, sorry. Though I still need to rebuild this. That's going to be a lot of work. And you'll be able to leave then? Yeah. Believe me, I know I shouldn't stay here long. I can take a hint. That's great. She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her, huh? Sorry, man. You've been at this for hours. How are you holding up? Need a break? Well, I'd be better if a certain someone didn't take away my lunch break. Hey, I gave you some crackers, didn't I? Like, that was enough to sate a guy in his mid-20s. Still, I'm pretty fine. I'll push forward a bit more. You can go if you want. I've been introduced to just about everybody here. There's 2 people I haven't met yet. Ooh. Really? Well, there's no real need to, right? I'll stay around a bit longer. I came back here because I was bored. It's not like I'm busy. Couldn't you play around with your 52 guy friends? I take it back. I came back because I wanted to be bored. Living in the city is so annoying and tiring. Especially with 52 guys texting you all the time. Jeez. Just being mean to each other. Oh. Sorry, I lied about the 52 guys. Why? Because I wanted to keep you in check, I guess. Why would she pull a tactic like that only to reveal her hand? Hey, did you really get dumped by your girlfriend? And now she asked me that. I did. Honest. Huh. I see. Well, after that relentless assault, it wouldn't be fair unless I played my own card. Want to come with? Huh? It's a 2-seater? Yeah, even an extra helmet. Not dry yet, though. I'm obviously leaving soon, so unless you have something planned, you can join me. We could even go on a bike tour. If we have enough time. I can take you anywhere. Flexible, open to fine-tuning, wild and charming. This was a good date invitation, if I say so myself. Sounds great, and I have no plans. Oh? I'll go get my stuff then. Chiami smiled and turned around to head to her place. She then looked back to me and,
急いだ方がいいよ
you should hurry before I change my mind. Oh, yes, sure. Well, that made me motivated. This is one tiring trip. At least I met someone good along the way. I'd just forget everything. I'd just forget everything I didn't want to remember while on the road with her. I can only hope that clever girl and I would eventually grow closer. With that ulterior motive in mind, I resumed rebuilding the bike. See, we went from nice guy to now this. Ugh. After several failed attempts, I was finally making some good progress putting the bike back together. Afternoon had passed, it was almost evening. At the rate I was going, I'd definitely be working while it was dark. Would that even be possible? Might be way past midnight by the time I was done. Chiami might dump me for that. Man, life sure was hard. The plaza I'd work on now was totally empty. There was no one around me. All I could hear was the wind, the frogs, and the tools in my hands. It was desolate, to say the least. I suddenly felt really weak. It made me keenly aware of being in a place I don't belong, and that I was preparing to escape. It was an oppressive atmosphere, like the bars of my cage were slowly swinging shut. What's this, Haraki? Think you're going to get attacked or something? I tried to laugh it off, but it didn't work. As I became more conscious of my surroundings, I began to hear things I hadn't noticed before. I heard a voice. Someone was singing. It was an inarticulate little girl's voice. I stopped my work. Before I knew it, I put my tools down and gone looking for the source. Was that I starved for human presence? Or did the malaise make me feel like I was in danger? Even though we got no sound, I walked down the hill to where the song came from. Passing the tall grass, I arrived. Guardians are... It was a strange sight. The field was covered in tall grass. There were countless rocks peeking out of it. Unlike the boulders all over Yasumizu, these were only up to my waist. They looked like gravestones. 6. The bad jar hums along the grate within a ray of bricks. The field extends to the dusky western sky before ending at a cliff. This was the lowest spot in Yasumizu, the border to Saranaga. There was a large pine right at the edge. 8. The donut, bologna, rice nose on the mountain. What the hell kind of lyrics is that? The evening sun, the stones, and the pine shadow gave the field a strange aura. A little girl was running through it. Her steps were awkward. At this moment, the space was alien. I felt like I was looking at a Giorgio de Chirico painting. The place felt like it didn't belong in this world. Suddenly, I came to understand that this place was special. It was a sacred mythical ground where no outsiders were welcome. The girl fell. Are you okay? I run with no hesitation. The little girl. Eh. Help up, half-crying little girl, muddy clothes, new graze on band-aid covered kneecap. Okay. I console little girl, push away, run someone. Appears girl saw once me. What the hell is this? Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. Girl weave incomprehensible phrase. Hide behind little girl, fear and hostility eyes. Man, if you are not looking what I'm looking at, I mean, you're thinking I'm just speaking gibberish. Run. That's the first thing you said to me, and I might as well take that. Girl hug, little girl. Warn me? You probably won't make it. You know what? I probably won't. I'll probably fuck it up a lot. But run. Me, girl, behind. Missed. Missed. Me. Turn around. Run. Where? In a daze, I came back to the plaza. Suddenly, Chiemi shook me, bringing me back to my senses. Where were you?
ごめん
Sorry, I'll finish the job now. It's too late, you idiot! You won't make it in time! You gotta hide! I couldn't understand what she was getting at. What are you doing? Go to your room right now! But Haruki-san's... Forget the outsider. Old man Kanzo and I'll check the other places. Stop wasting time and go back to yours. Good, it's already picking up. I couldn't understand. What were these two doing? What scared them so much? Didn't take long for me to find out. Oh, the mist has come. I looked down the hill from Saranaga. Beyond the field it had just been in came the rising haze. It was so dense you could easily call it mist. It moved strangely, like a living creature, as it flowed into the plaza. Haruaki-san, over here! Chiemi pulled me by the hand. What's going on?
なんだか
My head. Feels like it weighs a ton. Deal with it! You gotta find a place you can lock the doors. You'll die if you don't. What do you mean? Tell me. Please don't ask questions and just do as I say just this once. Albeit hesitantly, I did as she said. We ran up the hill and crossed the rice field path until we made it to a simple outhouse. This should be fine. Seriously, what's going on? And sure, that was a hell of a miss, but this won't protect me, right? Listen, no time to explain, so please, just do what I say and only that. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. My mind was pretty clear at this point. So much so that I began to wonder why it was so clouded until now. Because of that, I could easily understand exactly what Chiemi just said despite how weird it was. I could also see she was really desperate. Dude, keys 3, 8, 19, and 20 to unlock this choice. Holy shit! That's a lot I'm gonna need. Well, I've got no choice. We're hiding in the outhouse. Now that's a hell of an order. Haruaki-san.
言っとくけど
Just so you know, pulling that off is pretty hard.
だね
When I do, I'd like a good reward and explanation. Sure, I'll tell you everything. So please, survive the night. The words, the teary smile, none of it looked fake.
じゃあね
See you then. You gotta hurry, right?
急ぐ
Yep, Haruaki-san.
何
What? I'll tell you tomorrow. Don't die. Don't die on us. Leaving me one hell of a homework assignment, Chiemi ran off. The plaza was covered in the mist by now. I could see it rising to take over the fields, too. Anyway, promise was a promise. Locked myself in an outhouse and sleep, I guess. 10 minutes later, began to wonder what I was doing. Was I really supposed to spend the night here? This outhouse wasn't like a prefab you'd find in construction sites. It was just a shack built by hand. Merely happened to have a toilet unit installed. It was Japanese style, so I couldn't even sit down. All I could do was stand. Another problem. It was the type of toilet that periodically had to be pumped empty, so the smell was pretty bad. Sure, there was a cover on the toilet unit, but without any kind of air freshener anywhere, the smell of ammonia could only do so much. The only good thing about being here was that if I had to go to the toilet, well, mission complete, but what of it? Again, was I really supposed to spend the night here? The question quickly made me realize how stupid this was, and I began making assumptions to make this easier for myself. Was I being pranked? Or was everyone here just crazy? Hell, the mist had already filled the surroundings. There was no way that the shabby outhouse protected me from it. The air here already felt misty and damp. The temperature here was low, so I could still bear it somewhat, but staying here all night would make me all wet. Again, I wasn't safe from the mist here. That considered, I'd probably be better off sleeping in the grass outside than staying here. The reasonable part of my mind urged me to stop playing along with these hicks. However, get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. Sure, I'll tell you everything. So please, survive the night. My sense of duty made it hard for me to break the promise I made to her. Actually, that wasn't quite true. I was more intrigued by the prospect of learning more about this place. Anyway, took the time to compile what I found out today. This was the Yasumizu settlement, a special part of Fujiyoshi. It was situated right next to the Saranaga Rapids. The people living here were Chiemi, Yasunaga, his family Kaori, and Yoshitsugu, Chikamochi, Haru. She just has just like that. Look at disappointment, man. Her granddad, Kanzo, Tai, Takumi, Kiyonosuke. Seemed like he was from the Kamifujiyoshi, the place on the other side of the mountain, but for some reason he lived here now. Finally, the old man who cried wolf. Those were 11 people I met, and Chiemi said I had 2 more left. That could only mean that the 2 I met by that pine tree were the ones. The little girl, she was probably the child that stayed in a Saranaga yesterday morning. And then there was a fantastical looking white-haired woman clad in strange clothing. She's probably the one I'd see in the morning. In fact, I'd see her twice, made it likely that she was indeed real. But how mysterious this place was, I couldn't rule out the possibility that she was an illusion. According to Chiemi, the little girl was being looked after by someone in the village, so I could only assume that the white-haired woman was the one. If I count a little girl, that would mean Yasumizu had 13 inhabitants. Then there were the 2 journalists, Hisako and Yudai. Add me to that, you have a total of 3 outsiders, but I put that aside for now. Anyway, time for an assessment. Yesterday morning, the little girl strayed into Saranaga. To make it worse, no one, not even herself, knew anything about her. She instantly got branded as an ill omen. The next day, Chiemi, who was in Saranaga for some reason, found me there. They recognized me as a proper lost person, but since I came through Saranaga, I was also branded as an ill omen. From what Kiyonosuke Nosato, she said, it was safe to assume that it used to be customary to throw people like us into Saranaga. And then there was the mist. The girl said something mysterious. Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. I can only assume it was related to the same superstitions. After all, the mist came from Saranaga itself. It and the river seemed to be central to the local customs and ideas. With that in mind, how was it dangerous? What was going to happen now? Yomibito, as in people from Yomi, the ancient Japanese land of the dead? Dead people came back through Saranaga and they were corrupted. Well, that gave room for some wild ideas. Was there some sort of pathogen in Saranaga that rose up with the mist? Did it turn people into zombies? Was I about to be a part of a Japanese Resident Evil? Wait, that was already Japanese. What if you had a 10% chance to be infected by the mist, but a 100% chance to be infected by another person? That explained why everyone had to isolate themselves like this. If I became a zombie, I probably wouldn't have the mind to unlock the door. So basically, by locking myself in here, I was quarantining myself. I should have played this during COVID. I hadn't put all that much thought into that, but it seemed like a good story. Sure, stuff like the boulders and the wolves didn't fit anywhere to my idea, but it was still interesting. Then again, I knew this was Hicksville and all, but was superstition that science could explain so easily really survive in the modern world? Seems so weird. Whew. Okay. Need to catch my breath there. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, don't make a sound. Don't make a sound. To be frank, the reason why I spent so much time in these delusions was because I was scared of things I didn't know or understand. In the past, people used to attribute stuff like natural phenomena and disease to gods, devils, yokai, and they knew nothing but fear them. They were scared of these manifestations or monsters and whatnot, but on the other hand, it was better that not seeing or not knowing what they really were. The fact that you could die to things you couldn't see or understand made life really unreasonable and unfair. That's why it was very logical to give things names and mental images in order to recognize and memorize them. My fear of things I didn't know was the same, except I wasn't satisfied with those labels or hypotheses. I needed to reach the truth. That aside, what was I feeling right now wasn't a fear of the unknown. It was a realistic, practical fear of something that could endanger my life. Yep, get in there, lock yourself in, stay the whole night, don't make a sound. That meant that outside lurked something dangerous. I could hear sounds. Perhaps it was so-called dead that rose up from the river. Or maybe, assuming I was right with my Saranaga sickness theory, it was people who came out and beat the shit out of all the diseased who didn't follow the rules. Oh my god. Pretty fucked up, man. Get all the elders in on that shit. The wolf is coming. Maybe the wolf was the title given to the killer. Ah, One Night Werewolf. That's all they're doing. A real-life One Night Werewolf. Someone died. Suddenly I heard a scream in the distance. Damn it, I can't stay. I actually can't stay. Here we go! Time for it all to go wrong. Wow! That was some timing. Right as I was about to form a new hypothesis, the proof connecting all of it came to me. It was right outside. It had gotten really dark. There was no light anywhere. The darkness was fear. Unperceived equals unknown. Equals dangerous equals scary. Leaving this place was dangerous. Dangerous equals scary, 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 scary. Scary things were scary no matter how much logic you applied. But I couldn't discard my desire to get to know where the fear and conquer it. You see, this is how you don't be afraid of the dark. You be the one to be afraid in the dark. You want them to fear you in the dark. You be the scariest thing that exists in the dark. That's how you overcome your fear. I opened the door and stopped in place. Night was in absolute darkness. No matter how dark or cloudy it was, the sky always gave some bit of light to us. However, I came to understand that it could be hard to see if there was light. Everything I saw was covered by a dense mist. Combined with the pale moonlight, it made the area seem milky. It made it hard to get around. Regardless, I couldn't ignore the scream. There was something beyond this veil. I kept moving forward. Unless my ears were deceiving me, the scream belonged to a woman and had come from the right. I couldn't let myself think that. Or rather, I didn't want to think that it was her. The unknown was scary. Personally, I found that principle made my life really easy. I'm thinking it's the female reporter. I have more than enough fear from those which were directly threatening my life. I really don't want to have the fear of losing someone as well. Change your line of thought, Haruaki. Solving the mystery might save someone. 2 birds, 1 stone. I began walking faster. Another scream. It was close. I realized I had to find a way to protect myself. I was unarmed, so I looked around for anything I could use as a weapon. Felt around to see if there was any branches or anything. Sadly, all I felt was grass. I went deeper and searched the ground itself. Soon I felt something hard. It was a rock. A moment of digging later, I took it in hand. A bit smaller than my hand. I almost teared up at how useless it seemed, but it was better than nothing. Looked at the base of my feet and saw the grassy ground. I could easily move forward if I first checked the ground using my feet. And since I might have been close to the danger, I had to focus on what was ahead too. I recognized the danger and if possible, get rid of it. Concentrate entirely on that and step forward. Come on. Damn. I couldn't hear the screams anymore. But I could hear other things. Oh, man. A wet sound. Oh, no. Here it comes. And the sound of something cracking. It filled my mind with countless things I didn't want to imagine. Even so, I kept walking forward. Forward. Until I saw it. Here it comes. Oh. My hypotheses were nothing but delusions. The truth was truly something you had to see for yourself. But why? Why was this so scary in spite of being true? It wasn't supposed to exist. It couldn't exist. After all, it was a wolf with a humanoid body. And there's no such thing as werewolves. The next morning, in a paddy field in Fujiyoshi, Yasumizu 3rd block, someone discovered a thoroughly mangled corpse. The clothes nearby led the discoverers to conclude that it was the traveler, Haruaki Fusayashi. He's still moving. Strangely enough, I can perceive this particular moment. Ayomi Boto, purge him! And so I, goodbye Haruaki-san, was finished off by the girl. The feast begins. The last thing I heard, I'll hang the wolf, was that. Raging Loop. Unveiled Arrival. Raging Loop. Obtained key number 2, Werewolf in Resurrection. I can view on the keys list. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Game over. Bad ending number 2. Dude, I missed. Bad ending number 1. Watch a hint corner? No! I don't need a hint. Guess it was just a dream, right? Do better next time. 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Alright, so boom. So I didn't get very far. There was a branching path right here. So I would need key number 4 to get a branching path here. I don't have key number 4. So the dense mist, I got the key number 2 so I could go back here. Dude, hide in the outhouse. I need so many keys to go through this branching path. So for now, going back here. Follow the scream, yes or no? We're going to keep... I love how it gives me a skull just to remind you. Yeah, you're going to die doing this option. We're going to keep still. What was that? It sounded like someone's life was in danger. It meant something dangerous would be nearby. Wait, I couldn't be rash. The world didn't have many things that logic couldn't explain. Like the existence of murderers. But, until I saw the source of the scream myself, it was nothing but a source of fear. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. I reached to open the door, but something stayed my hand. It was my promise to Chiemi. Actually, it's me telling you, don't be a dumbass. But that scream just now was very real. It wasn't normal. I had to assume the situation was dangerous, and maybe I could help if I went out. But that meant endangering myself. I was no saint, and I had no plans to rectify that. If there was something that could get me to walk out, it would be curiosity. My curiosity had won over many dangers thus far. But right now, it was weaker than my fear and risk of death. Why? Because I already knew. Shit, what the hell were those memories? It wasn't a premonition, a dream, or anything else that vague. My brain recognized it as something I had experienced. But how? After all, I was still alive, and the time for those memories had yet to come. Was I a precog or something? By God, I swear I'd never experienced anything like this before coming here. And why did the memory come back to me at this particular moment? Regardless, that overwhelming fear and the pain and death that followed were exactly what waited for me if I opened the door. I couldn't feel more certain than that. The thoughts rendered me unable to move, immobile. I stood still, completely certain that I had lost my chance to leave. I wasn't childish enough to sneer at selfish decisions, but this still didn't feel good. Not to mention I was upset at myself for not being able to act like me and just run out simply because I was curious. I didn't even feel saved until that moment. Suddenly the door began to shake. The place had a handle on the outside. Someone was pulling on it hard. There was a lock, sure, but there was only so much that that it could take before it broke. Bitrate's dropping again. Give it a second. Don't know why it's dropping now of all times. We good? No, still dropping. Just paying attention to my other screen to make sure that things are actually working. Why is the bitrate going crazy? Bitrate shouldn't be going crazy. Come on. Why of all times now do you want to go down? Come on. Give it a minute. Why of all times do you want to crap out like this? I don't need this. Alright. While it's doing that, I guess this is a good time for me to step aside, go to the bathroom, grab a drink. Hopefully by the time I get back, this will be okay. This will be fixed, hopefully. So I'll give you some background music, and I'll be right back. Alright, looks like it's back at a stable bit rate. Alright. Alright, yep. Looks like we're good to go. Alright. There was a lock, sure. But there was only so much it could take forever before it broke. I prepared to pull on it from inside, but
今から一晩ここに入って鍵をかけて
don't make a sound.
物音一つ立てないで
What would happen if I did? Whatever was outside would instantly know I was here. If I protected the door, the thing that had lots of other ways of hurting me. But what if it didn't know about me and was just weirded out by this randomly locked toilet? What if I didn't show a hint of fear to what I was doing? Would it just leave? I chose to just wait and see. Once again, someone pulled the door, shaking the structure as a whole. Gulped down a scream and forced it to unlock. If it broke, it'd be over for me. Over as in I'd be dead. That was what the memory told me. I was so powerless back then, even more so now. Assuming I tried to fight back, what would work? I heard that teeth were the hardest parts of the human body, so maybe I could bite. Yeah, I'd tear wherever it was apart with my teeth. I'd bite it to death, gather my wits, in killing intent, grinding my teeth, glared at the door. How long had it been? The sound suddenly stopped. For all I knew, it might have been a ploy to make me drop my guard. Slowly counting to 500. Nothing happened at that time. I assumed it went away. There were no screams or attacks after that. But the silence around me improved my perception. I heard strange noises every now and then. Breathing, growling, claws on the ground. Basically, I felt a beastly presence. So that thing actually exists here. Was it what the mist brought here from the Saranaga? The wolf is coming. Did they all know about this? Shit, I couldn't learn anything in a place like this, and not knowing things scared me. Trusting my presence of deja vu or whatever it was, I chose to just stay quiet and wait. I'll find out everything tomorrow. I just had to make it through the night and then talk to Chiemi. If it was something I couldn't solve, I'd just run away. Thankfully, my bike repairs were going well, but I'd be leaving even if it didn't work. I'd walk to Kabufujiyoshi if I had to. Unlike Yasumizu, they might have had reliable means of transport. For now, I just had to stay awake and make it through the night. Alright, we made it to Tuesday. Hell yeah. Never liked seeing night gradually turn brighter as the morning arrives. It always made me feel like shit, just like I'd done something harmful both for my body and as a human being in general. Found it natural to spend the night asleep and welcome the morning well rested with a smile. I'd never expect to feel so much gratitude for the morning light leaking through the door of an outhouse. Felt like the beasts had been out and about for the whole night. Naturally, the high humidity here had made my clothes all wet and sticky. It was unpleasant, but even trying to move them and make it more comfortable for myself like a matter of life and death. Maybe it was a good thing I couldn't relax, but hell was exhausting in more ways than one. When I heard Chiemi shout, "Haruaki-san" in the distance, I was so overcome with relief I almost fell to my knees. If this turned out to be a trick and I opened the door to see some wolf with a chewed collar in its mouth lunging for my throat, I'd just give up and let it have me at this point. With that in mind, I opened the door. I expected to see the same picturesque village I seen yesterday, so what I actually saw shocked me pretty hard. What the hell was up with this thick mist? I couldn't see shit. It was like the entire area was consumed by it. Did someone line every inch of this place with dry ice or something? Haruaki-san? I hear Chiemi, but not see her.
ちえみちゃんこっちだ
Chiemi-chan, I'm right here.
春明さんよかった
Haruaki-san, what a relief! Ah! Heard a wet sound and finally saw a silhouette within the mist.
大丈夫
You okay?
歯にはまった
I'm stuck in the field. I walked up and saw exactly what I expected. A girl struggling to free one of her legs stuck deep in the paddy field.
そうか
See, well, good luck.
助けて
Hey, help me out.
抜けない
Oh, you can't do it yourself? Take my hand then. Out you go. Tugged her hand and braced my legs. That was enough to help her, but she lost her balance and... Whoa, safe!
ヘッドロック
Headlock!
これ技
This is a wrestling move. You're actually pulling it off. Despite how close we were now, this wasn't the least bit romantic.
とにかくよかった
Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. I definitely remembered a time where I was far from alright, though.
あ
Yeah, I guess I am. I had no idea what that was about, so I didn't see any reason to mention it.
ただ
I did feel like there was some beast outside. Jamie's expression immediately darkened. She clearly knew what I was referring to.
聞きたいこと
I have lots of questions, but right now I'm more interested in the scream I heard than anything else.
それは
That was...
知ってる
Huh? You know what I mean? She fell silent, clearly uncomfortable. It's pretty ominous.
来て
This way.
どうせ
No point in delaying the inevitable. Jamie gave me her hand. I took it, but I didn't feel the least bit excited about this. She led me down the path to the school dorm.
あ、房石さん無事だったんですね
Oh, Fusayashi-san, you're okay.
成功
Congrats on surviving, Toilet Man.
ありがとう
Thanks for the warm futon, man.
君たちも無事
Thanks, warm futon man.
いや
You're okay too? Who? Wait, where's Haru-chan? Did she?
いえ
Oh, she's fine. She suffered quite a shock, so she's taking a while to get
今
dressed.
強かったみたいで
I see. So the rest of you have already gotten a move on.
皆さん
逆によく耐え
How did you even handle being in there anyway? Were you asleep?
狙
As if I could. I had no idea when I could get out, so I just waited until I heard Chiemi-chan's voice. Huh? You were awake?
たんですか
Yasunaga-kun made it sound like it was weird.
いや
You try sleeping in there, guy. You can't even sit, much less lie down.
いや
No, that's not what I see. Really hate it when people just trail off like that. Makes me way too curious.
ちなみに
Why are you here anyway?
ここに
春ちゃんも
Wait for Haru-chan to keep a lookout. Lookout.
状況がはっき
We're
り
not letting anyone near the scene until the situation is clear. Scene? So someone actually...
見る
Want to see?
今の胃袋
It's a good way to test your stomach.
もち
Ochi, don't mess around like that.
あ
Yeah, I do.
見るよ
The invisible and unknown were way scarier than anything else. Not to mention I could already smell something foul. I lightly moved them aside and walked up to the so-called scene. There was a corpse. It was in such a horrible state, it was so hard to recognize it as human. I imagine this was what you would have gotten if you overturned a butcher's cart. Holy shit. That was how thoroughly the victim was disassembled. Also, the butcher would have had to deal in entrails. Enough of that comparison. Straining my eyes to look through the thick mist, I could actually make out the human parts with a vast sea of blood, or mountain of death. Hands torn, clothing, hair, and a shoulder bag. How professional. She kept hold of her interviewing tools even while running for her life. Didn't do the odds of survival any favors, though. Yep, the reporter's dead. Despite the body's state, it wasn't hard to tell the victim was Hisako Mamiya, small-time food journalist. That thing. Did it come to me once it was done murdering her?
これは
This is awful.
大丈夫
Are you alright? Feel nauseous or anything? Jamie was standing a short distance away looking at nothing in particular.
吐くものもな
I
い
got nothing to puke and, well, I'm used to this.
春明さん
Is that what you were studying in college?
と
Well, I guess you could say that.
一応
え
Huh, seriously? So you can do autopsies and stuff?
医学系ってのは
When asked if they study medicine, I guess you could say that is what students from similar departments say to make themselves look good, but I did say a few pathology analysis. Crouched down and put my hands together. Then, grimacing at the harrowing reek of blood and innards, especially digestive food, I brought my face closer. Perhaps I could learn something from this. I could, even if it wasn't much. This corpse wasn't split into pieces. The limbs were still connected, but they were folded in an unnatural way and looked really flattened. They were either crushed or bent with no regard to bones or muscle position. Then her whole body had been torn apart. Her innards were particularly badly damaged. The words "wolf down" felt like the best way to put it. I found it hard to describe. This wasn't my job, so there wasn't much I could tell about it without touching it.
何がどうなってる
This is way beyond anything I've ever seen before. I could barely tell what happened here. I had an urge to add that this seemed inhuman. But I kept myself from saying that.
とにかく
Anyway, we should call the police, leave it to the pros,
任せよ
and everybody's kinda set back about that. Yeah. I said something a good citizen, but for some reason they didn't seem to agree.
警察は
Haruaki-san, the police won't come.
そんなこと
Why wouldn't they? I mean, someone died.
来ない
They won't.
じゃあ
Then let's evacuate.
それも
That's not happening either.
どうして
Why? We have my bike in their
と
van.
にかく
Anyway, with Fusaishi-san, we now have all the survivors, so let's go to the dining hall.
はるちゃんは
We'll wait for Haru-chan.
そっちは
Yeah, you do. Let's go, Haruaki.
なあ
Can I get an explanation?
悪いけど
Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for explanations. Figure it out for yourself. Holy shit, why did your mood change? First time Chiemi acted so harsh with me. I was pretty irritated myself, but it must have been worse for them. They actually had info on what was happening here.
無神経だったよ
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Chiemi said nothing more and just silently walked off. I followed after her. Maybe she's not the best person for you, man. When we reached the plaza, I instantly understood what she'd said about evacuating. The bike and the van were both completely destroyed. The latter was in a particularly bad state. The front window was broken, all four tires were flattened, etc. My bike was on its side, its front fork was broken, well, it's basically scrap metal now. Fuck. There was a rock right next to it, guess we had our weapon. That's probably the photographer. And there are more remains inside the van. Looked like an enormous mountain of flesh and bone. If I didn't know about Yudai Hashimoto, I'd have to assume there were 2 or 3 corpses here. Hashimoto-san.
橋本さん
Chiemi slowly nodded. I now knew we'd lost not only 2 lives, but any means of transportation as well.
あれ見て
Look there. She pointed at a wooden electrical pole. The line was dangling, torn apart with no hope of repair.
よその電線は生き
The other power lines are fine,
速道の
but the dining halls was destroyed along with the telephone line. We can't contact the outside. I took out my own phone. It worked, but the battery was almost dead, and like before, it was out of range. The situation became even harsher than before.
これも見て
Look here, too. Chiemi walked a few steps away. I followed after. There was a large boulder. It was tall enough to reach an average roof, and there were drawings on it. A crimson symbol of some sort. What did it represent? At first, it looked like an incoherent mess of lines. However, I soon realized there was a pattern. It felt like the calling card of some street gang. From what I could tell, the basis was warped diamond shaped with a spiral inside. There were 2 of them. They seemed to be drawn of blood, but wasn't nearly as disturbing as the bizarre shape.
狼が2匹
2 wolves have stuck into the village.
戦わな
We
きゃ
have to fight.
いけない
Chiemi made a quiet declaration. Apparently, the settlement had been invaded by something malicious, and it was intelligent enough to get rid of to rid it of all means of our escape or contacting help. I could understand that much, but it didn't make sense to me. This wasn't some isolated island. There was the cliff, sure, but you could still go down to Saranaga or go to Kamifujiyoshi. I'd ask about the next time I had the chance.
ごめん
Sorry. Huh?
気が立っちゃう
Sorry I got mad. It's supposed to be hard for you too.
きつい
まあ
Don't worry about that, I'm just an outsider.
所詮僕は
そんなの
Don't say that. Huh? Oh, poor choice of words on my part. I mean, I'm an outsider who doesn't know the rules, so I'll just silently watch for the time being.
まだわからないからもう少し疲れちゃい
I'm tired, but I think I'm less shaken by this than most people, so I figured it's best for me to stay cool.
しとこうってきっと他の5年
I imagine even the elders here are more bothered by this.
春明さん本当にただの
Haruaki, are you really just some university graduate? What else could I
そう
be?
でなきゃな
なんか
I don't know, you seem way too calm about this, like you're used to situations like this.
こういうやつに慣れてるみたい
Hmm.
多分
My nerves are pretty messed up, I guess.
何本か切れてるのさ
The small dining hall was jam-packed with people. You. He survived. Good morning. Though I guess it's not very good considering what's going on. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare enough tea. Oh, it's okay. You did it, didn't you? The younger Oribe boy menaced me. No, I didn't. Why would you think that? Shut it. Where the hell did you get off strutting in like that? Stop it, Yoshi. You're the one who needs to shut it. The hell? You're the one who said that bastard shady. Man, I hadn't expected to be treated this badly. I'm saying this ain't a matter for a brat like you, and you're bothering Kaori-san, right? Takumi-san, please calm down. Let's keep it peaceful. It's fine. We'll talk it out. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Stop, Teba. That's a bad omen. Where's the key to the meeting hall? I gave it to Uematsu-sama too. Maybe 3 days ago. Said she'd fix the podium. Well, Missy? I'll go and get it. There was that woman. So she wasn't just an illusion. Uematsu-sama was her name, huh? I thought our eyes met for a second, but she just walked by me. Ah, wait! Meiko-chan, wait for here for a moment. That girl was here too. Deeper in there was Kiyonosuke, clearly irritated by something. And the old man who cried wolf. Not too far away, there was the old man who cried wolf. Just like yesterday, it was hard to tell what he was looking at, let alone thinking. They were the only ones sitting, by the way. The others were just idly standing around. Mom, everyone, we're back. Come in, Haru-chan. Okay. The 3 students were here. With them, the settlement's entire population had gathered. As for the outsiders, the journalists were dead, while I and the mysterious girl have survived. I didn't know the circumstances, but they probably had the reasons to be suspicious of me. Suddenly, Chiemi did something unexpected. Rikako-san, can you wait a moment? Huh? She stopped the girl who was about to go out to get some key. Each villager seemed to call her differently, so I didn't know what to call her myself. This is Haruaki Fusayashi-san. He crashed his bike and I met him at Saranaga. Oh, hello. An introduction. Now, why? This is Rikako Uematsu-san. Uematsu is made of the kanji for spin and end. Pretty rare, right? Well, she's the current head of the Uematsu household, one of the chief families of from Kamifushi-oji. I'm Rikako Uematsu. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh. So she was like a local celebrity, huh? Like Kiyonosuke, she's in a Sato family. And it's Maiko-chan. We only call her that because we don't know her real name. Bah. Well, hello there. Nice to meet you. The girl they call Maiko trembled a bit and... Oh my. Whoa. Sprinted through the crowd to hide behind Rikako. Okay. So what do you want to say, Chiemi? I suggest not inviting Haruaki Fusayashi-san to the feast. I felt a wave of perplexity go through the room. Chi, that ain't how it works. The feast is there to help us decide if he's shady or not, right? Their expressions were stern and their words harsh. No, I'm saying he doesn't even have the right to participate in the feast. The hell are you talking about? He's the shady of us all. Yoshi-kun, did you prepare for the feast? Huh? Yeah, I did. Who didn't? How was I supposed to react? No one else was raising their hands, but I had no idea what they were talking about. Me, probably. I don't even know what that entails. The other 2 who didn't prepare for the feast were taken by the corruption. However, Haruaki-san wasn't. I think the Okami-sama ignored him. Okami-sama, as in Wolf-sama. Why the reverence? What was she even talking about? He's from Saranaga, sure, but he clearly just passed by. In fact, I think he'd get in the way of the feast. No, for all we know, forcing him into the feast would just make the Okami-sama mad. What do you think, Bachan? Did you really survive without preparation? What was I supposed to do? Purify, shelter, dream. Basically, cleanse your body, lock up in a single building, all by yourself, and wait for dawn while asleep. I didn't, then. I was in the outhouse by myself, but that's it. I didn't bathe and spend the night awake. Place got all noisy. They probably didn't expect that answer. I don't know. This never happened before. Tai-san sounded genuinely puzzled. What do you think, Rikako-san? I had no idea what kind of dynamics were at work here, but Shiemi asked for Rikako Uematsu's opinion. I consent to the idea. If our great Lord Shinai chose to spare him, he must be exempt from the rules of the mountain. Her words created even more commotion. So there. Shiemi, you know what you're doing, right? If we remove him... Yeah, we won't have to waste our hanging for the day. Won't have to waste our hanging for the day. Old man, what do you think? It was roundabout, but in the end, once again, the one who made the final call was Kanzo. He won't be in the feast. Old man. But, glaring directly at me, the old man walked through the gathering and approached me. Seeing him from up close, I realized just how big and burly he was. It was pretty typical of someone living in a place like this, but it felt out of place for someone his age. His expression displayed both an inner strength to match his physique and a profound rage. If the laws of the mountain don't work on you, it'll be our rules you follow. If you don't, I'll shoot you dead. He spoke slowly yet decisively. Man, this was uncomfortable. Hold on, if he can be excluded, I would like the same to happen to Rikako-san and I. Huh? Why? We're from Kami Fujiyoshi. We have no reason to play along with Saranaga's business. Nosato, that won't do. If you're here the day of the feast, it doesn't matter if you're Nosato, Uematsu, Migurama, or Higuchi. Uncle, that means Yasu and I could leave too. You're both disinherited. That's different. Why must people that are still part of the four families take part of this idiocy? Interesting. I want to know what this feast is all about. Listen here, Kyo. Don't call me that, Miro. Let's go to Rikako-san. We have no reason to play with these peasants. No, Nosato. Those in Fujiyoshi have a duty to remain present. All remains in the hands of Shinai-sama, and now we gather upon the platter named Yasumizu. But, you got a problem? Then get out. Let the corruption take you. Kyo eventually fell silent, and Rikako left to get the key. She returned in no time, and everyone began leaving. You are not coming with us. Alright, where to then? Takumi, is the cage open? Well, yeah, alright, I'll take him. Come with me. Everyone went to the same hall near the village plaza, while Takumi led me elsewhere. We made our way through the tall grass between the buildings. And a dead end next to the wild trees of rocky cliff, there was a large cage. Even had a roof and would have passed for a hut with a bit of work. This is where we keep the live game we capture. Sorry, but you'll have to wait here. Can I say... I can't say no, can I? Don't take it the wrong way, okay? You'll be out once we're done with the feast. It won't take long. And you can't get any details, huh? Yeah, I do feel bad about this, but you should be thankful you don't need to take part in the feast. How was I supposed to feel that way if I didn't even know what the feast was? I'd have asked, but he looked pretty irritated. Probably because he wanted to get it over with, so I kept my mouth shut. The floor of the cage was mostly gravel, with spaces of wheat and other things littered about. There was a vague but very clear scent of beasts.
ここ
Can I lie down here? I figure I should sleep whenever I can.
随分ずぶといな。
Man, you're brash.
単に
No, just a coward. I don't want to die is all.
死にたくないだけですよ
That's why I'd abandoned those people. After Takumi-san locked me and left, I laid down and closed my eyes. The ground was hard and it reeked pretty bad, but was still on an improvement over the outhouse. I should have taken the time to think about what the villagers had said about my strange memories, and about how I could get the hell out of here. That was what I wanted to do, but I knew that I'd just be swept away by an unproductive spiral of regret if I went down that rabbit hole. Had I always been this admirable of a person? Another thing. For some reason, I felt like I'd spend the entirety of this time just watching the battle. So I decided I'd focus on resting in preparation for what was to come. Everyone sitting? Then. Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge. Uematsu-sama, if you may. This is the sacred sake presented to us by Shinai-sama. Please drink it, starting from the youngest. Sake. You just put your mouth to it. No drinking for you, kids.
一杯くらい
Not like it killed me. Stop it, Yoshi. You say something too, Yasunaga.
義経
Yoshi, this is just for tradition's sake. Shut it. I know how it is, Nikki. I don't want to drink this. Haruchan, just kiss it. Haruchan, just kiss it. There, done. I'm done too.
僕もこれ
Same here, Chine. Alright, adult time, here I go. This is enough for me.
存外にいい
It's better than I expected, Miro.
昼間っか
We're drinking sake during the day. This feast is something. Here, old man.
ほらよ、おやさん。
Don't spill it, Taiba. I'll have it. Can you hold it, mister? Sake. Sake. Cough, cough.
通り回ったか
That's it, that's done. Taiba, explain. You all know the tales, don't you? When the evening mist comes, the Okami-sama, the wolves, come back to life and try to slay the humans. There were two symbols of the Yomotsu Okami. That means that two wolves have risen. That's why we must do as Shinai-sama says and throw feasts so we can find and hang them using the powers of the guardians some of us were given. If we don't, we'll be taken by the corruption. That means dying a horrible death. To avoid the corruption, we must have feasts to slay the wolves. That is our role as inhabitants of Yasumizu. What does slay mean? Means kill. Scary. It's fine. I'll protect you. Sorry for the interruption, Yamakawa-san. It's okay. Children always do that. She's not the only one among us who could be a wolf. Among us? Good grief, what nonsense. If that's what you think, then let's fuck off and get the corruption. Let the corruption have you. Yoshitsugu. Oribe. I'm concerned about your son's upbringing. I'm like this because I want to be. Don't drag the hag into this. Shut up, Yoshi. I'll punch you. Huh? Takumi? What the hell you acting tough for?
殴るっつったら殴る。
If I say I'll punch you, I will. You too, Kyu. Just shut up and listen. You don't have the guts. Hear that? Adults don't let stuff like that get to them. Anyway, Bachan, this doesn't seem right to me. I've been hearing about this ever since I was young, but it never made sense to me. We've been here for as long as we can remember. With the exception of Mako, we all know each other. They've been replaced by wolves? Like hell, they're the same as always. Takumi, you're being naive.
なんだよ、おやさん。
What? You're saying there's someone shady among us? Everyone's shady. Everyone's a suspect, guys. Trust no one. Maybe Panda was right. Trust no one. Everything is sus. Oji-chan. You be careful too, Haru. Even beasts can trick people, and people trick better than any beast. There are things here acting like they're one of us. Why are you so confident? The truth of what the ancestors said. Well, if you say so. That's just what Yasumizu's numbskull say, isn't it? Shikamochi. Again, you irreverent little... Mochi, stop that. I'm sorry. So what do we do now? What do you mean? We talk and decide, right? Will that be enough? I mean, we're deciding who to kill here, aren't we? Everyone will say what they think, then we'll narrow down the most reasonable opinion. Now, this is like a more interesting, like a more elongated, One Night Werewolf or, you know, Town of Salem thing going on. I like this, because I like those games. I like being like the serial killer, the mafia, the killer, and getting away with all this. So now trying to figure out who among these guys would be the killers would be interesting. Because I have nothing to go on right now. Everyone will say what they think. We'll narrow down the most reasonable opinion. Chine, what do you think? I think it's a mess. We already have people who think no one's shady and those who think everyone is. Yammering on and on about something that can't be reasonably decided is a waste of time. Besides, in the end, this is just going to be decided by whoever's most influential. What are you getting at? Don't worry too much, Jimmy. Most of us here are Yasumitsu brothers and sisters. It'll work out in the end. I appreciate that you're being so considerate, but we're talking about killing someone here. Plus, it gets worse. If you don't want to pick someone close to you, you'll choose someone else. Someone you don't like, or a stranger. Personally, I think you shouldn't let that kind of thing affect your decision. It'd be a grave mistake. Hey, she's right. Hey, I'm trying to say that killing and all that shit is insane. We should stop it. That's the most sus. Maybe he's worried that he'd be picked. That won't do, Takumi. Bachan's saying the same thing. That's why we gotta talk it out, you know? I know what you're trying to say, but... can I? Hao-chan speaking. What's the likelihood of the guy Chini brought being the one who killed the journalists? See, what did I just say? I don't think he did. It's just my gut, though. What about you guys? Takamine, you said he's shady. Yeah, I did, but like Jimmy said, we shouldn't make decisions based on that. Also, the guy's weird, but I don't think he'd do something like that. I'm with you on that. This is our problem, so we should solve it by ourselves. Huh. Isn't that basically choosing someone based on who you like? So how do you think we should choose Kiyonosuke-san? I believe majority rule is the most reliable method here, Yasunoga. Hail democracy and all that. That's not very like you. I'm merely saying that there's no better way to get the common opinion of these many people. Also, talking it out and making the decision then is basically taking the conclusion that most people agree with, no? That's the same as majority rule. Otherwise, like you mentioned, everyone would be decided by whoever had the most influence. Who would that be here in Yasumizu? Kanzo? Tai? And who would be killed? Me, of course, the non-local. Nobody... You're not a likable person. That's why you would be killed. Isn't that foolish, considering the people deciding might themselves be wolves? Osato. Just so you're aware, I have no intention of dying. At the very least, I want a method where I have a say in what happens. I'm against that. Majority rule? Yeah, you'll get a conclusion, but there's no guarantee it'll be right. I still think talking it out and deciding then is the best. Speaking of which, what would you even talk about? Tai, you said something about the Guardians of the Mountain letting us their aid, right? Yes, the snake, the monkeys, the crow, and the spider will lend us their aid. Do you know the details? The snake. Ah, old fart, you know about it. The snake can ask the mountain who's a wolf. There are two monkeys. They both know who the other monkey is. Okay. The crow can ask the mountain if the hanged one was a wolf. The spider can ask the mountain to protect someone from the wolves, but only for one night. That's what I've been told too. Interesting. The wolf has come. I wasn't aware if you knew this. I thought you were just senile, but it looks like you're pious too. Anyway, that means some of us here should have those powers. What do you mean? Wait, do God and the Guardians even exist? Isn't it just some serial killer using full tales as cover? Haru-chan, God really does exist. You just believe he does. No, all of us must have seen Shania-sama at least once in our lives. But that's... Calm down, Haru-chan. You alright? Yeah, sorry. Whether it's true or not, we should start by putting together what we know. It's too early to decide anything. Let's make the Guardian thing a bit easier to understand. Can't you youngins remember the old tales better? You young people don't know your history, your folklores. The snake sees, the monkeys hold hands, the crow tastes, the spider protects. The snake can discover the wolves among the people. It's also the guardian beast of the Miguruma family. The monkeys know for certain that the other monkey aren't wolves. It's the guardian beast of the Higuchi family. The crow can tell if the one who died was a wolf or not. It's my family, Nosato's guardian beast. It's pretty sad. Silence. And the spider can keep the wolves from entering someone's home. It's the Uematsu's guardian. Indeed, each family's crest represents their guardians too. But how do those chosen by the guardians use their powers? The snake writes the name of one still living person on something and puts it under their pillow before bed. The next morning, Shinai-sama tells them whether it's a human or a wolf. God, we're gonna be out here for days. There are two monkeys, and Shinai-sama tells them who the other monkey is the moment they are granted protection. The crow is told whether the person who was hanged the day before is a human or not. The spider writes the name of the one still living person and places it on their pillow. That person will be protected from the wolves, but only for one night. With these methods, we must use the powers of the guardians to pick someone to hang each day. If we get all the wolves, we win. If the wolves get everyone else, we lose. Do you understand now? It's werewolf for keeps, guys. Yes, but... where do you even learn this? I heard about it from my Oba-chan. Wait, that means that those in the village have family blood of their guardians, right? I'm not sure about that. I mean, we don't have anyone with Miguruma blood, disowned or not. I heard that the guardians are very fickle about who they lend their aid to. And who are they? If they reveal it, they might make themselves targets for the wolves. We won't get anything done if we can't talk about it, though. You think so? What if... ah, screw this. We're wasting time here. Listen up. My guardian's a snake. Huh? What? Takumi. Is that true? How do you even know that? Forgot to explain that. The guardians come when we're dreaming and leave a mark for their chosen ones. If you wish to borrow their power, write it up and put it in your pillow. The mark will give you their answer. Yeah, I had a mark on me. I don't remember the dream, though. The snake sees. Does that mean Takumi already knows who are the wolves here? No. As I said, he has to write it up, and he can only choose one person per night. Huh? So we won't know anything until tomorrow morning. Yes. Can I ask something, Miro? What is it? Why did you reveal such important information? You've just all but guaranteed that you're dying tonight. What do you mean, why? We have no other information to go on. Based on what's been said, the snake's power is very important. It makes you a very powerful asset in the fight against the wolves. So revealing it like you did put you in grave danger. Ain't scared at all? How can you say that? Did you see what those monsters did to those people? Oh, so you believe in monsters. It was a figure of speech. Anyway, this turn event has cost us a valuable weapon. Don't just decide that. You don't know shit. Yes, I do. Listen to me, everyone. Anything you say here is free information for the wolves. We should talk things out without overplaying our hands, yeah? Just like a normal werewolf game. Or Town of Salem. That's true, and he gave me an idea. I'm the one speaking now. Quiet, fool. Yasu, speak. Huh? To make the best of Takumi's reveal, the spider should protect him. The spider among us, without revealing his or her identity, should write his name down and protect him. That would keep him safe. What do you think? Sounds good to me. Yasu, old man. You'll be safe today. Ask the snake to tell you about someone. Whatever he finds out will definitely be correct, right? Right. Takumi, can you promise you won't lie no matter who you investigate and what results you get? Of course I won't. Isn't that good enough for today? I don't think we can hang anyone without any kind of proof. You sure that's okay? Why wouldn't it be? Just sitting around and waiting doesn't suit me, okay? I know that. Oh, by the way, I think Takumi should tell us who he'll investigate. Why? So if you investigate someone and don't like the result, you can't lie that you actually investigated someone else. What the? I wouldn't lie! That's reasonable. I'd say it's necessary for Miro, considering how sympathetic he is to Yasumizu's inhabitants. He's not that special in that regard. Everyone wants to protect their own, but the situation doesn't allow that. There's another positive to that. We can all discuss and decide who we should investigate first, right? True. I'd like to talk about that too. Who do you think I should go for? Yasunaga. I'm not too sure, but I think we should start with the one who's most likely to be unjustly chosen to be hanged. That would be me. Honestly, it feels like even speak if I'm not confirmed to be human. You're speaking quite a lot if you ask me. Then I'll investigate Kyo, is that okay? Fine by me. Then we're not hanging anyone today. Is that really fine? Yeah, it's gonna be fine. That's it for today. I was woken up by several voices. He's actually sleeping. Was, anyways. We're done for today. Sorry for the wait. Good to hear. Ugh, ow. Fortunately, waking up proved that this whole mess wasn't just a nightmare. So this feast of some sort of ritual, the kind you do to ward off evil or whatever? Yeah, it's more than a gathering. I see, so you try to find the culprit. Haruaki-san, you don't beat around the bush, do you? Yeah, I realize I'm a real victim here. So I need information. It's a tall order to stay alive without any. Takumi, can I tell him about this? Yeah, better you than me. I gotta go clean up and stuff. Takumi walks away. Clean up the bodies, I assume? Yeah, Tai probably won't let us off until we've seen the Yomibito to Serenaga. You're supposed to preserve the scene of a crime, right? This is doing the exact opposite. Then again, it didn't seem like anyone expected the cops to show up in the first place. Here's my first question, then. Let's take this somewhere more private. Ooh, with a wink. This is... Jimmy took to the place where I'd met Rikaku, Imatsu, and Meiko. It was a grass field with stones littered all over, bordered Serenaga. You could say that this is where the heart of our religion, the graveyard of the Hanging Pine. That's a hell of a name. The place was filled with dense mist, but it was probably thinner than that of the rest of the settlement. The sunlight seemed brighter here. I could see even a bit further. The Hanging Pine had to be the old-looking tree at the edge. Is this really a graveyard? Yes, I don't know about the ones in the actual settlement, but these stones here are all graves. Remember how you tripped on one of them? Pretty bad move, huh? Better apologize. Huh? Seriously? You should have told me sooner. Yasumizu's ancestors? I'm so sorry. Sorry, I thought that'd scare you. I know you didn't really have a choice, but I brought you to a half-ruined village with monsters in it. You believe in monsters? I asked, ignoring what I'd seen for myself. Yeah, I do. Jimmy's voice resounded through the impossibly thick, cloudy air. I didn't think you were the type. And you're the type who's weirded out by that. I wouldn't go that far. Bullshit, I can see it all over your face. Was it that obvious? It wasn't like I found it disgusting or anything. I just didn't think I could get along with the people who believe stuff like that despite the lack of actual proof. That probably how it was.
じゃあ
Can I have a reason?
理由
What? I don't have one.
ないよ
Not sure I believe that.
言った
Well, if I do.
そうだな神様を見
Because
た
I've
こと
seen
があ
God.
るからかな
That was,
ほら
See, you're weirded out.
詳しく聞か
Tell
せて
me
ほしい
more.
おっと引かない
Wow, not bailing out after all. For now, let's focus on the immediate
もっと
issue.
直近の危機について話そうよ
She was hiding something. It was either that hard to explain or a lot more important than she was acting.
宴とやら
About this feast thing, huh? Alright then.
チエミエクスプレイン
No comment.
イ
Yay! I've been waiting for
説明
this.
って意味ね
Jimmy's explanation. The graveyard probably wasn't the place to joke like this, but at least you could see Pat's nose. It didn't seem like we had to worry about anyone eavesdropping. Okay. I tried putting together everything Jimmy told me. Okay, thank God. First, Fujiyoshi Village had a unique legend. There might have been a similar one somewhere outside, but just treated as Fujiyoshi exclusive for the time being. The people here worshipped a god called Great Lord Shinai, the avatar of Shinai, or just Shinai-san. Also, the mountain of this village was called Mount Shinai, meaning this religion deified a mountain. Sorry. Anyway, sometimes in the past, not known when, Shinai-san helped the people living there by sending 5 beasts called guardians. However, just like nature, they would be really harsh. He had a scary side too, and if you didn't follow his laws of the mountain, he'd curse you without mercy. The Okami-sama was the ultimate form of his cruelty. Though the Okami-sama watched over the hunt, the Okami-sama also oppressed, tortured, and punished humans. The other guardians, though, were largely benevolent ones. The snake predicted the weather and harvest yields, bolstering the humans' prosperity. The monkeys defied the wolves, secretly teaching the people of fire along with other important bits of knowledge. The crow pecked at and ate up the flesh of the Yomibito, the enemies of Shinai-san. The spider warded off the Yomibito and ensured that the humans slept and dreamt soundly. The Yomibito did indeed mean people from Yomi, as in the land of the dead, but apparently it wasn't very clear to what they actually were. But just as I had suspected before, it was the thought they had something to do with the corruption, death, in the land of Yomi. Most likely idea was that they were the dead that had returned from the Yomi to bring harm to these people still alive. At the start of the legend, Shinai-san, the animals and humans were facing the Yomibito. Apparently, that was still how it was in Kami Fujiyoshi. The leading part of Fujiyoshi was the basis of the teachings of the Great Lord Shinai religion. Thanks to that, the 5 beasts, including the Okami-sama and Shinai-san, were still worshipped here. In Yasumizu, however, things were a bit different. The legend here had a turning point when the humans, snake, monkey, crow, and spider cooperated to kill the Okami-sama. With the destruction of their cruel rule, the human village experienced great growth. That had been when the 4 head families, who were said to have the blood of the 4 guardians of their veins, were formed. The snake was Migurama. The monkeys were Higuchi, the crow was Dosato, and the spider was Uematsu. However, it didn't end there. The Okami-sama joined the Yomibito side and became a sinister creature that wanted to bring harm to humans. The Saranaga Rapids were Yomibito territory, and the Okami-sama appeared for there whenever the evening mists came. The Okami-sama would then kill an inhabitant, take it in their form, and act like them. But at night, they would show their true self and brutalize the real inhabitants. That was why the people of Yasumizu, who lived next to the Saranaga Rapids, had to stop them. For that, the Great Lord Shinai created an event called the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Despite the name, it was no banquet, but a ritual to kill the wolf. In the feast, the villagers were allowed to kill 1 person a day. You had to basically kill your own people, something that was taboo for ages. But it was permitted here in order to rid the group of the wolf. Some humans were also given the powers of the guardians, snake, monkeys, crow, and spider. It was like a banquet of betrayal. They all drank some sake and chose someone to kill. That more or less explains everything. I see. There's a lot to unpack, but I got the gist of it. Basically, the humans betrayed the Okami-sama, one of their guardian divinities, and were still paying the price. But there were some points I really didn't get. I won't tell this to anyone else but you, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Okami-sama. No, wait, where? I might just took a peek through her space to the outhouse door, so I didn't get a good look. Couldn't tell her that I had a realistic dream where I was killed. I had a human body and the head of a wolf, I think. No way. Can I take that as a serious aside? Yeah. A human body and a wolf head matches up with the depictions of the Okami-sama and Shinai-san's festivals and the deified images of Kamifuji-yoshi. Huh. Before I saw it, though, I heard a woman scream, so I figured that thing killed Mamiya-san. Was that the brutalization you told me about? I mean, if it killed and replaced her, you wouldn't have had her body, right? Sorry, I forgot to tell you something. Shinai-san is very strict with his laws, and gives various punishments to those who break them. You mentioned something like that. Basically, they broke the rule of preparing for the feast by bathing, locking up in a room all by yourself and sleeping. That's why it's believed they died in the corruption. I couldn't see how you could get such a mutilated corpse for something called the corruption, but there was something more important. Basically, you didn't tell me about the laws that turned me into a toilet man so I could die, huh? No. Listen, I honestly thought there was no way an outsider could survive. But I wanted to at least find a way that gave you a shot at making it through the night, because I didn't want to let you die. She could be the spider. Which gave me the protection to survive the night if I chose to listen to her. Look at that, I actually survived. Yeah, sorry, but I really didn't expect this. Shame. I didn't get sloshed, huh? Don't be like that. I'm actually really glad you didn't die. I wasn't sure how to feel about this, but hey, at least you tried, right? So that scream really was Mamiya-san's, huh? Or was it someone who got brutalized? I'm not really sure. From what you told me, it's possible that that was your scream and that the Okami-sama already replaced you. Well, it's possible, but I know full well I'm no wolf, and that's what I'm going to say. Just like everyone else, huh? Fair point. Now this was a predicament. Sorry. Question 1. Ask away. Are those marks the only proof that there are two wolves? I recall the strange symbols of the large rock, the two warped diamonds with spirals inside. Yeah, that mark represents the Okami-sama returning from Yomi. So since there are two marks, it stands to reason that there are two wolves. So it's speculation. Not much reason to question it, though. We have these annual mountain festivals. There's always a guardian costume parade. The number of wolves in the parade are announced in a similar way. So it's normal for there to be multiple wolves, huh? Yeah. In Shinai-sama's shrine, for example, you have 3 wolf statues. For the festival, the Miragama divine the number of wolves or something, and then record the number overnight. By leaving those marks on the stones, huh? No. Kamifuji-yoshi does not have Okiba. Those stones, I mean, so they apparently draw them on the shrine grounds. Apparently. The people of the Yasumizu are taught to wait for the guardians in Yasumizu, so I never saw the marks myself. So one of those marks at Kamifuji-yoshi means one wolf in the parade. Not exactly. The wolf sign in Kamifuji-yoshi isn't as warped, for one. The mark of the spiral on the diamond is the only sign of the wolves that came back from Yomi. It's a Yasumizu thing, so they don't have it in Kamifuji-yoshi. I see, but still the number of wolves and marks match up. Yep. A 3-wolf festival is considered good luck there. Chiemi herself did look the least bit happy to talk about it. Anyway, I had to take from this was that there were at most 3 wolves. I had to fix my perception of the situation. The wolves were a group of 3 werewolves. Okay. I wasn't too well versed in myths and folklore, but I certainly hadn't heard of any Japanese myth about werewolves or wolfmen. I did hear of Jinmiken and of possession by fox spirits, but the werewolves did seem like a very European thing. On the other hand, the fact that there were 3 of them seemed pretty standard. Guess that had something to do with presentation, trinities, and all that. Though the idea of 3 werewolves did seem a bit excessive in terms of content. Anyway, I now had a better grasp of the situation that made it easier to understand what was going on here. What about the humans who got guardians? What about the humans who got guardians? How many of them are there? There are 2 monkeys, but only 1 of the rest. I see, so there are 5 guardians and 2 wolves, and the rest are humans. Pretty bad that there's 2 wolves. Does that make them strong? That's one reason. But you can only kill 1 per day, right? If there's multiple, getting them all will take more time. Oh yeah, I just realized the crow would be kind of pointless if there was only 1 wolf. Why? The crow's ability lets them tell whether the corpse of a wolf is human, right? That means a wolf doesn't transform back into a wolf even when it dies, the corpse stays human. That makes the crow's powers useful. You won't be able to tell if a wolf was dead otherwise. Yeah, that's true, but what does that have to do with the number of wolves? Imagine if there was only 1 wolf. They kill him. What happens next? I got nothing. Exactly, that nothing. Or rather, the wolves won't kill any more people. Game over. Humans win. Oh, I see. So if there was only 1 wolf, you could tell it was dead because the killings would stop? And the crow would be pointless. Exactly. Wow, you're sharp. Well, it's not like this information is very useful. I'm so impressed by how you keep it cool in this mess. You're not just some student, are you? What else could I be? A detective? I like that. I'm a famous detective who came to solve a difficult case in the countryside. Seshi Yokomizo's world. Yokomizo's world. And you normally investigate affairs and debts. Wow, that got real quick. Anyway, I got more questions. How many people can the wolves kill per day? It'd suck if everyone got killed overnight. That won't happen. Remember the snake? You need to ask the mountain who's what. True, and the spider would be pretty useless if they just protected 1 human while everyone else, including them, died. This is also, I wonder why if Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san got brutalized. Killing even 2 people would make it pretty bad, but if it was just 1 per day, or... Well, that raises another question. Why do these supernatural monsters even need to follow the rules like that? Is that weird? Of course. Imagine if there were 3. 1 corpse would barely serve as a snack. I don't think they're attacking people because they're hungry. Oh, so they're just out for revenge. Not really sure, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that because they want to. I feel like they have their own laws they have to obey. That's what bothered me so much. The Feast of the Yomi Purge had rules, and breaking them would mean being taken by the corruption. Some sort of supernatural punishment from Shinai-san. That was really just divine retribution. Surely you would want the Yomibitu done away with immediately. However, instead the humans retained the aid of their guardians. Only 1 kill is permitted each day. Even the wolves couldn't break that rule. Were the laws of the mountain equally binding to both man and wolf? In Christian theology, both humans and Satan were God's creations, equal before him and all acting based on his master plan. Was God, the mountain, similarly inclined? A legend of slain wolves and their revenge. Was it really that simple, or was there something else going on? It's quite scary, and I wanted to know all about it. I guess we should ask the elders how many people the wolves kill. True. But is someone really going to die again tonight? We already got 2 casualties, and for all we know, those the wolves replaced might be dead too. Hold on, they're cleaning up the bodies, right? We gotta check them properly as if there aren't more than 2 bodies or anything.
骨も内臓も2人分しかない。
Kanzo-ji-chan checked it first thing in the morning. There were only 2 people's worth of bones and guts. Huh, really? Does he have experience doing this kind of thing? He's a hunter, so he's used to butchering animals. Well, that made sense. That reminds me, this probably is the most important thing. Why aren't you trying to run away and call the police? Oh, that got silent. I want a straight answer to this. I honestly can't think of a better move in this situation. I was aware that the people here were superstitious, but those superstitions are getting people killed. So why not was not a single person objecting? We can't escape this place. Can I ask why? It's complicated, but we all know it's true. There's no way to escape this place. The mist is completely impassable. I'm not going to waste time on something I know can't be done. Have you seen it yourself, or are you just trusting what someone else said? Sorry, I can't really explain how, but I just know. Once the feast begins, no one can leave Yasumitsu. So it wasn't logic, but blind conviction. Or perhaps she'd subconsciously gained that knowledge through some experience. Yeah, as if. So you have no proof, but still believe you can't escape. Yep, everyone else would probably say the same. What are the odds that your blind faith in something is that total bullshit? Well, higher than 0. What if I said that I, as someone overlooked by the god of the mountain, would try to leave anyway? I'd do everything I could to stop you. If the others allow it, it's because they don't care if you die. That was pretty scary. So you're worried about me. More than anyone else here. Thanks. I can just feel the love. Love? She's acting all red on me now. This seems to be taken pretty far from an act. She's going all red. Oh no, I just have a conscience. Good save. The others here don't, huh? Well, you should know that they're way colder to outsiders than they appear. Yeah, I kind of got that feeling. Kind of an outsider myself, so I can relate to your situation. Yeah, you did leave and go to college. You go on a road trip with someone just based on that? Hey, that might have been our final farewell in this life, so I wanted to make it nice. Huh? You only agreed because you felt sorry for me? Don't think you can get out of your promise that easily. Wow. How do I respond to that? Oh, but wait, your bike's broken. If it's for a date, I'll take out a loan on a new one. A date? I guess it is, but wait, you'll take out a loan while you're still in school? Besides, don't promises like that usually end up with someone dying? Let's worry about that after we survive. Shit, first she was all over me and now she's playing hard to get. In normal circumstances, that would be kind of fun, but right now she was the only one I could rely on. The emotional support would have been nice. Back to the whole police thing. Really, you can't expect much from them here. Because it's supernatural? Well, that's one reason. Hey, I know a few supernatural people. We'll just call the paranormal site people in for this one. But we also have just one officer in Kamifuji Yoshi. And Kamifuji Yoshi wants nothing to do with what happens here in Yasumizu. Of course they don't. You know, I've been thinking. Spot on. I ain't even said anything yet. Yep, Yasumizu is basically the local settlement for those who are ostracized. She really did guess what I was gonna say. Ostracism. In ancient times, villages often punished criminals and the like by ostracizing them. They were ignored and excluded from all social welfare aid. Basically, people were excluded from the larger group and treated coldly. It was one step away from banishment. It wasn't just emotional torment either. Back in those days, not getting the help of other people was a matter of life and death, making this quite a harsh punishment. Did you all do something? Most of us did nothing. The Makishima, Yamawaki, and Muro families have been here for generations. Can you keep a secret? Sure. Kaori Oribe was originally an outsider who married into the Higuchi family, but her husband messed up somewhere down the line and died.
それで
I hear she was forced to move here with Yasuku and was still very little.
移り住まされたって聞いてる。
Well, that wasn't a pleasant story. I had heard ostracism still survived even this day and age. Some rural groups would brazenly cut off your gas or water supplies if you didn't fit in. Then again, neighbors and cities had their own communication problems. Basically, humans really hadn't changed that much over the years. Still, ostracism because family troubles? In this day and age? Seems so weird, ugly, and behind the times.
モッチーなんて野里家の元嫡なんだからね。お坊ちゃまなんて
Then there's Mochi. He was the Nosato family's heir apparent. Guy's an actual blue blood. Huh? Really?
うん。
Yeah,
清之助
he
さん
and
とは
Kiyonosuke-san are uncle and nephew. They were nothing alike.
ただ
Mochi's a bit weird, though, so he's put up for adoption and sent to
その
Yasumizu.
まま休みず行き
Oh, yeah. Kiyonosuke had something to say, had said something like that. Sheesh, what century did they think it was?
君は
What about you?
は
Huh,
ちょっと
I didn't, oopsie.
昔は荒れてたとか
Did you used to be a bit wild?
うーん
You don't like that?
そういうのダメ
You don't like that?
むしろ
No, I'm actually into that.
せめ
Wow, you really go all in, don't you? With her pulling hit and runs, I really had no choice. Alright. That's going to be it for tonight. My throat is tired after talking all that. I'm going to like this game. Long story short, I am going to like this game. This is like a visual novel of Werewolf or Town of Salem. And I can't wait to see what trouble we get into. How many times I can fuck this all up. So, I'm going to continue this probably Saturday because I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. And the next time is going to be Baldur's Gate 3. But, when we continue on with Baldur's Gate 3, we'll probably get through the beginning area. We're almost done with that anyways. So, can't wait to get to that. If you guys like to... I'd like to thank you all for coming. Darth, once again, thank you for the raid. If you're still here. But, now I'm going to move you guys forward. I'm going to push you on to someone else. And we're going to go say hi to Samurai Kitsune. He's playing Space Engineers, probably multiplayer with other people. He sometimes plays a lot of MechWarrior games, which I like. He sometimes play some other good old multiplayer games. So I like to pop in and say hi every now and then. So let's go say hi to him and see what's up. So, thank you all for coming, and until Thursday, this is Faramir, signing out. Good night.